is as good an option as they come up with, and they like getting the ball out of the goal square as quickly as possible.
Hudson up against Minston for the Anzac Day clash. Crows looking for 4 in a row. The Bulldogs haven't won here at the Telstra Dome in their last 9 outings. And away go Adelaide. Johncock with the first kick of the evening. Inside the 450, almost for Welsh. Hargrave there for the Bulldogs. Cross got it back to West. See, that's a clever kick in the end. Spot a bother, but away goes McMahon. It came from Harris. McMahon back through the middle.
And talk about a baptism of fire, Kevin. Just noticed the first game of Morris. He's gone on to the skipper of the Adelaide Crows. Not just any skipper, but a Hulk in Rashudo.
The All-Australian captain. There's Murphy. Not a bad kick. McLeod comes across for the spoil. Recovers well. Right with him, though, was Cross once again. Doughty. Back over to Bassett. Goodwin. Chipping it up the line. This is Riley. Not sure of his options, and the Bulldogs getting plenty of numbers back now. Riley goes short, up the wing. 2 to pick from.
So Scott Thompson has also pushed forward. He's been picked up by Jordan McMahon. Very good pick-up is Thompson.
Rutten. There's Rashudo, and there he is out in front at the first gamer in Morris.
Mark Rashudo, the raging bull, from the half-forward line, goes short. Bending down low that time was Welsh, couldn't take his Cooney. Young man in a hurry. Rockets the ball out wide, finds Jordan McMahon, just strutting his stuff across half-back to Murphy. Didn't quite hit the target, trying to get young Morris into the game. Runs the ball over the line for a toss-back in.
Yeah, now Kev, if Rodney Eade was coaching the Crows, I suspect that he would put Rashudo straight to full forward and try and just get him one out against the first game.
Well, you've got Johnson and Tawney one out up the other end too, Jared, so it'll be interesting because Tawney likes to give him that run off half-back, so he's dragged him deep.
Speaking of Morris, there's his first touch, gets the ball across, taken away by Murphy. It came from Power. Here's a chance, out in front, he's got it. The skipper, Luke Darcy, goes wide to Cooney, who rockets it wide as well. Jade Rawlings comes down across half-back, goes very, very short, looking for Smith with those quick hands. His partner in crime is Johnson, got pushed off the ball that time by Tawney, who's been a surprise package since he's come back into the side. Here comes McLeod on the centre wing. The magician off and running, and Guerriere says, "Go McLeod!" as he goes into the forward pocket. Couldn't find Welsh. Finally, the ball is knocked over line. We've got a boundary throw in.
You might even see him half-back tonight, Kev.
I reckon Mike Sheehan's put the moz on Andrew McLeod there. He said during the week that he was the #1 field kick in the game, and well, he blew that one. Would you put the moz on him there?
No, I reckon that was Guerriere's fault.
He was up mozzing him. Stay there, sit down there.
Just confirming, late change for Adelaide there. Massey has come in for Shirley. Adelaide Crows forward line. Harris on hands and knees looking for Gilby, who's been very good. Was that high?
Yes.
And we'll go out of bounds and we'll have a throw. Let's head down to Tiffany once again.
Coach Neil Craig comes from a cycling background. He's actually recruited a cycling great and the coach of the Australian cycling team, Charlie Walsh, sitting on the bench for the Adelaide Crows. And also, gentlemen, it's quite hot down here. The roof is closed. It's about 23 degrees and very muggy.
Over the top came Thompson. Cross. Wrapped up by Goodwin, and we'll have another ball up, 55 metres out from the Adelaide goal. No score so far.
There are a number of ironies in this modern era, Kevin, and I guess seeing as you played so long ago, and you would, I guess, be as amused as I. We had an outdoor game where it was 25 degrees and it was dry. Tonight we've got an indoor game and it's slippery.
Cooney, right up against the boundary line. So too Darcy, and Rutten is right with him.
There's been one player, Matty, tonight in those stoppages. Also, too, Jared, Scotty West has been going to Simon Goodwin and getting into his face, and now he's with Tyson Edwards, so he's really making his presence felt around those stoppages.
And Begley's got the job picking up Adam Cooney. Big chance that time for Hudson, who's been a bit of a surprise packet so far this year. Here's Darcy again. To Scotty West. It was a look-away handball. Big Minson, as Jared said before, could be a very important player for the Bulldogs. There's Begley pulled off the ball by Cooney. Rockets back. Tyson Edwards, that great vision, goes wide. Here's Goodwin in game number 150. This could bounce through. It's going to keep going. Here's a chance. Picked up by Perry. Quick snap. He's got it. First blood.
Well, it was a bad turnover for the Western Bulldogs, Gary. I thought they had pretty much control of it on this centre wing, and the kick in, though, was superb. because Perry had his opponent Harris, he had him 5 metres in front of him. I don't think you can defend when you're 5 metres in front, because as soon as you turn your back, the player ducks round the other way and you're dead.
It's very difficult, Jared, and Perry actually did that well, because he actually led up the corridor and then ducked back, and it was a well-weighted kick from Simon Goodwin. All he had to do was kick it out in front, and Ian Perry's goal.
Adelaide off to a good start. In fact, they've been the best starting side in 2005. They've won all their first quarters. The Western Bulldogs yet to win one. They're trying to go ahead here through Minson. High ball coming for the spoil. Over the back was Rutten. John Cock wrapped up by Power. Bassett. In there was Griffin. McGregor going back to Doughty. That's good vision. Handball. Searching over the top, over to Riley. He can go back through the middle. Henschel. Nice strong take out in front. Hard running there from Begley. He's going to get a lucky bounce. James Begley can give it over the top. Adelaide will get their second goal as Welsh gives it to Thompson, and Thompson kicks number 2. Quick transfer by the Adelaide Crows. Started with some good vision with Doughty down back.
It was, and also too Graham Johncock, Matty, as well, and he was the one that instigated that first handball. Good vision. They're using Riley as that sort of outlet player, if you like. Henschel's leading up the ground. A kick that was probably a bit stiff and away for Hargraves. He met the ball, bounced over his head. Begley over the top to Welsh. Welsh over the top again to Thompson in the goal square. So 2 goals that they've scored with good movement of the ball, Jared.
Yes, it very much looked like who dominates centre possession is going to win this match.
Got Thompson there on screen, coming off a 3-goal haul last week against the Sydney Swans, so his confidence is high as Minson thumps the ball forward. A good 40-metre knockout. Chance now for West. Read it well, always wants to be the playmaker, can set it up, finds Power, finds Griffin. A young man in a hurry, kicked a couple of goals last week on debut. Here's a chance. Cooney had it and lost it. Grant, maybe a bit of inspiration on the forward line in the back, and he's got it. The 300 gamer has got a free kick, and he'll be shooting from just 20 metres out.
Well, he looked like he lost his feet there a little bit at about the same time as McGregor came over the top. There he goes. It was a little bit of assistance. But on your 300, you always get the first one, Kev, don't you?
But I think it's a good idea playing him up forward, because if he can kick an early goal, it would be team-lifting stuff for the Bulldogs.
Well, he's pinched about 3 or 4 degrees on the angle from... We're right behind him. I reckon he'd come round about 2 metres here, Matthew.
The 6 degrees of Chris Grant.
Well, he kicked 4 goals last week, and you can see the Bulldog fans behind the goal. So the flags will be waving if he can pop this through. Chris Grant, nerves have got the better of him. He's pushed it right and has missed. Disappointment for Chris Grant. As John Cock wastes no time. It's a poor kick, and Griffin has marked on 50. Well, this young boy from South Adelaide, taken number 3 in the draft. A good debut last week, kicked a couple of goals. The Bulldogs thought he was the number 1 draft pick last year. They were thrilled to pick him up at number 3. Well, the veteran of 300 games missed from just 20 metres out. Can the young man, just playing game number 2, kick it from outside 50, kicks into the man on the mark. It's a bad mistake, taken away by Begley. Didn't really hit the target. John Cock comes away from half-back. This is where they've been killing the Bulldogs early in this game. That quick breakaway from half-back to centre wingers. We see Bassett drives the ball in, looking for Perry. Good punch away that time came from Harris. Chance now for the Bulldogs. Morris gets another touch and gives the ball across, and the Bulldogs through cross or away.
And the danger man here is Gilby, who's been in sparkling form for the Western Bulldogs. He's a wonderful kick of the footy. Runs the 60 metres. He could just about get home from here. Lindsay Gilby hits it long, but hits it just wide. So up one side and down the other. But just to behind there for the Bulldogs, they're second, and they're now trailed by 10 points. I just get the feeling, Gary, we're going to see a lot of that. In one side, out the other.
A lot of fast break footy, Matty, but also too with that previous shot by Griffin, I thought it was poor by the Western Bulldogs forwards. They were anticipating a long kick to the top of the square, so they actually sat off some 15 or 20 metres, and the kick was obviously touched on the mark.
John Cock under some pressure here, but he's going to get some help in the form of the Begley Shepherd. The kick towards centre wing. Edwards in front of Murphy. That's a terrific matchup, that one. Big Minson gets rid of McGregor. John Syracuse short. Johnson can go wider. Does so round the corner again. Gilby with some space. Second chance from 60 metres. What will he do this time? Don't give him 2 chances because he'll kick the goal. Lindsay Gilby coming off 4 goals last week. He leads the AFL in kicks and is one of the better ones going around.
He is, Matty, and certainly from the point of view where Minson, I think, has been quite good at the centre bounces. He's won some clearances and driven the ball forward either by his ability to tap or actually kick. And you see what such a good finisher Gilby is, but it was the kick back through the middle that opened up the play because the Adelaide Crows defence was actually sitting back in space. So square it up, back through the corridor, and then a good long goal.
He's kicked 9 goals for the season, that man on screen. He is a thumping kick, and the Bulldogs trail by just 4 points. 2 straight goals to the Crows, 1-2 to the Bulldogs, and Minson doing the ruck work. Darcy, inside 50.
Sorry, Kev.
I think you said before the game that they would do that a lot, Jared. Put Darcy down and Minson into the ruck.
Yeah, I think it gives them that structure, and it seems to be working okay at the moment.
Harris there ties up the ball, and Welch's there gets pushed over that time by Hargrave. Got to be very careful.
Also, too, Kev, there was an interesting little swap at that centre bounce. McLeod went and assumed almost like the wing position, and Begley went into the forward 50, whereas Begley had been on the wing position for the previous centre bounce. There's obviously a little bit of rotation with McLeod at the moment.
Chance for the Crows, just 20 metres out from goal. Welch was held, no free. Here's a chance. Cooney, good evasive skills. It was a look-away handball, didn't quite hit the target. Here's cross, finds West. Goes short, finds GNC Accuser. Between wing and half-back.
Not a lot to kick to, really.
Power to Murphy. Time for think music. Back to Sam Power. Hammers the ball back to the half-forward line. Johnson is strong. GNC Accuser is quick and smart. Great kick. Here's Grant. Right on the chest.
Jared, would it be hard as a forward to actually put some sort of lead and any sort of purpose in about how they're being used further up the ground? Because the Bulldogs had 6 possession before they got it over the wing.
Yeah, I think you need someone as experienced as Chris Grant to hold back. He did it pretty well there, and he's not a quick man these days, so he has to hold back and hold back even more. So when he goes, he's got the space in front of him, and he doesn't want to get too far out from goal. He's never been the most reliable of kicks. He's had one-sider. You'd expect this one to go through on his 300th.
Well, we hope so. It's a tough angle for the man as he starts to bend it back. It's not enough. It's right across the face of goal. And through for his second behind for the quarter.
He can work on third time lucky.
139 plays 2 straight goals as John Cock again to bring the ball back into play. Doesn't waste much time. Finds Risciuto. It's on a defensive 50. The Crows lost the opening game to the West Coast, then defeated Port Adelaide, then Collingwood and Sydney. Big win against Collingwood in Melbourne. Sydney the SCG, the form side of the competition. Here's a chance for McLeod, wrapped up in the tackle. And Griffin did well. The young man pushed himself that time and takes the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Griffin, one of quite a few South Australians coming up against the Adelaide team. McMahon, Cooney.
Well, they have relieved the pressure for Dale Morris. He's been taken off Mark Risciuto, which is good coaching, and they've put him on Andrew McLeod.
There's another South Australian in Minson in the ruck. And Darcy, another one. West. Darcy's caught. Quick give. Lovely chain of handballs. Power releases GNC Accuser. Could have gone over the top to Grant or West. Heads long to the goal square. 2-on-1. The Crows have the numbers. Johnson has balance. Or does he? Well, we saw him win a game in Canberra, Kevin, where he fell over the ball and just got a boot on it to defeat the Kangaroos. It was almost a replay there, but the Bulldogs, 1 goal 4. They have had their problems in the past, wasting opportunities. This is another one gone begging.
Especially early, Matty, and you like to convert, but that was just obviously caught up in the moment with Brad Johnson. He had a little bit more time than he thought. There's that pressure out there early in the game, so it's about a case of just steadying yourself, and really, they should be a lot closer, even probably in front at this stage.
John Cock with the long ball, punched back by Darcy. Numbers. Chance for Edwards. He's got a bit of time. Measures the kick. Just outside, right on the defensive 50 is Mark Risciuto, the captain. The Roo heads long. to Tawney, who was good last week with 21 disposals. Over the top, the run comes from Doughty. Has to go back to Tawney, who drops it. Gilby's not left. The one umpire signals play on, and the other one agrees. Bulldogs fans not happy. Tawney to Edwards. Chip kick up in the air. Arrives for Goodwin. Long ball now. Over the top came Perry. Biglands is there. Also Skipworth. West helping out down back. Biglands off the ground, trying to do what Johnson couldn't do at one end. They've got a rush behind, courtesy of Brian Harris.
Another player, Matty, that's actually Kev, that's been very good for the Crows in the last 4 weeks has been Marty Matner, and Sam Power's doing a very good job on him at the moment. He really hasn't touched the ball.
Almost before he's known as a defensive player, Matner, but showing more of the attacking side and getting some run through the middle.
And he's such a penetrating kick once he gets the ball on around 50-60 metres out from goal.
Brian Harris nearly scooped that ball through behind then. It was very much nearly a throw.
You're on the rules committee, Kevin. Go down there and try.
Well, I tell you what, it was very, very close to being a throw. Here's the first kick for Morris. He's had a couple of handballs, finds Power. They've been waiting for Sam Power to really grow as a player, haven't they? He's had quite an apprenticeship now with the Bulldogs. 2005 is the time to deliver. Bowden's in hot pursuit. Trying to keep the ball alive across that half-forward line. Tawney taken by Rutten to Johncock. Cooney runs hard. That's good to see. Drives the ball in. Measured kick. Finds Perry. A lot of run across the centre wing. A lot of good runners. Here's Tyson Edwards. Caught that time by McMahon. Needs support. Pouncing on the ball is Goodwin. Backtracks, retreats, concedes ground. Back to Tawney, goes short, looking for McLeod. Great punch away by Morris. Quick kick by Biglands into the goal square and thumped over the line and through for a behind. Here's a big man, Rhett Biglands.
And he's certainly a great athlete too, with the speed and the physique that he's got. And he can kick the ball a long way, and he's been on the ground for a couple of minutes after changing with Hudson.
What's his best position, Gary?
I think certainly in the ruck, Jared. But he's got that ability to go forward and actually present yourself as a target, because he's quite quick on the lead. Not necessarily a pack mark type player, but certainly on the lead he's quite quick for his size.
Crows 2-2-14, lead the Bulldogs 1-4-10. Smith finds Griffin to Johnson. Some run now for the Bulldogs. Head to the centre square. From behind is Tawney. Went the big thump away. Didn't really make contact. Rebounds back. Comes to McGregor. Hammers the ball back towards the half-forward line. It's 2 against 1. Hargrave could have taken the mark. Taken away by Morris. Rowan Smith, all Australian across half-back. Goes short and finds his partner in crime in Johnson. A bit like the Cracker brothers. Yes. Smith and Johnson.
They rarely miss each other.
Murphy.
There's accusations last year of waxing, but they appear to be having a tremendous exchange tonight.
There's a chance for Scott West, the juggler. Had it and lost it. Jan Syracuse goes to the ground. Got to keep your feet. And the Bulldogs just indecisive around that centre square, and the free kick will go to Johncock.
It's brought partly about though too, Kev, because Biglands is actually standing back in the hole, but Tawney and Bassett and Johncock and even McGregor at times, they just leave their opponents up into the middle and then they just sit across half-back.
Just over 7 minutes remaining. Scott Welsh, a long way from goal. Short pass. Goodwin provides the option for him. The Crows lead by 4 points. Henschel a target, and he's got it. Talented young player, Trent Henschel. Within range. And Gary, you've seen a lot of Trent.
I think he's a very good player, Matthew. He's got fantastic poise and he's got very, very good skills. He doesn't tend to get too flustered when the ball's in his area. He thinks his way through the heavy traffic, and all he probably needed to do was just work on his pace a little bit, but also too his upper body strength. So I think he's going to have a long future, Trent.
What about his set kicking for goal from here?
He's improved. A little bit wonky early, mate.
You haven't exactly given him a full tick here. He's going to kick from just on the 50. Crows looking for their third to continue their good run in opening quarters. It needs to hold its line. It just drifts off and hits the woodwork. Kevin marked that down. We had a bit of fun last week.
That's one.
That's fun.
We've got 8 to go.
The Crows 2-3 as Mark Rashudo has a spell and Scott Thompson comes on. Rodney Eade looks on, and a pretty tight first term as Rowan Smith has it in the back pocket and goes back to the man who kicked it to him in the first place, Lindsay Gilby. So we're starting again, Kevin. You love that, don't you?
I do. I love it. I want to be coming back as a player, and I want to stand 25 metres out from goal when they kick the ball in. Hope they kick a lot of behinds.
This is Murphy, who now uses Gilby, who's racking up the disposals, and the Bulldogs haven't taken it outside their defensive 50 as yet.
He's a much improved player. We saw him last year. He played a terrific game against the Kangaroos in Canberra. A couple of weeks later he was out of the side, but this year he's been one of their stars.
He was headhunted by both Sydney and Richmond, I think, Collingwood.
Yeah, but they were very keen.
And he stayed at the Bulldogs. He's been one of their best 3 or 4 players.
Certainly has, as McLeod measures the kick nicely. Goodwin chips in on the diagonal. Thompson an option for him. Decides he can use one further afield. Needs to be right on the mark, and it isn't. Bassett was the man, but Smith came in for the spoil. Off the ground, gets 40 to 50 metres out towards the centre wing. Well done by the veteran Rowan Smith, but Adelaide still have possession. Going back, Doughty shows the ball to Cross. Untidy little handball, puts Thompson under pressure. Boyd right there, Cross, well done. It bounced back off Bowden, back into the contest, and we're going to have a ball up right on centre wing as the Bulldogs fans let it be known that they're not happy.
Young Cross will probably learn, don't look at the eyes, just look at the body and go straight at it. Don't get mesmerised. Make the tackle. Ball up on centre wing. Crows by 5 points. Just under 5 minutes left in this first term as Johnson kicks inside 50.
Boundary.
Taken away by Rutten, playing in front of Grant. Hammers the ball back towards centre wing. Here's a chance for Matner. Tried to kick it off the ground. Didn't really make contact. Jade Rawlings needs clean hands. And so does Eagleton. Just got a touch of the fumbles and taken away by Henschel. Runs to 55. Henschel wants to set it up. He needs a loose player, and he finds one. And comes in Skipworth.
Good kick.
Who goes wide. Great defensive play by Harris. He closed very quickly on Perry. It's a boundary throw-in. Great defensive play.
It's just where Ian lets himself down, Jared. Like, everything's right. He's led to the right area. He's led into the vision of the kicker.
Yes, you'd have to say that was one he should have taken there. There's young Dale Morris on Andrew McLeod. Kevin, in your time in the game, has anybody's first 2 opponents been more difficult than Rashudo and McLeod?
I don't think so. They've obviously got a very high opinion of the young boy. Here's a chance for Biglands. That is the thrill of the grass. That's a goal. That's a good point. Biglands looks very dangerous up forward. But I think it's fair to say that I don't think we've ever seen anyone playing their first game pick up 2 greats of the game.
No, we've got an All-Australian captain, 2 Brownlow medalists, Norm Smith medals, dual, and what a fantastic challenge he has presented. And he's done quite well, you've got to say. He's got a heap of possessions for a first gamer. And so's Rhett Bleakman. That is magnificent.
Brett Biglands, his first for the season, his 33rd for his career. He snuck that one through. Just sliding past the post as Adelaide get their 3rd. Margin down to 11 points.
Bassett's loose and Gilby's loose in their defensive 50, Matty.
And there's Biglands doing the work in the centre. Over to Edwards. Run down by Boyd holding the ball. He's not happy with the decision, but it's there. Umpire Martin Ellis. Away goes Boyd. A little bit untidy again. Jan Syracuse, centre wing, high ball inside 50. Grant is the target. 2-on-1. Rutten and Bassett to beat. Ground level Johnson opens up Gilby for number 2, and the Dogs answer quickly. And they're happy about it. Leslie Gilby, 2 goals, 1 coming off that wing. This time, Gary, on the opposite side.
He's been really working hard, and I said before that particular bounce that Bassett was loose and Gilby was loose in their defensive 50. But the thing that I liked about this movement here, Matty, was that it was a long, strong kick to a particular hot spot, and Gilby's roved it. And why don't players kick it more direct and long and high at times, Jared, because it does create a contest and a spill.
Yes, I reckon that's a fair point. And one day you'll get a chance to coach and you'll be able to show us all how it's done.
Pump your tyres up, Jess.
Well, I'm glad that Gary has mentioned that about the long kick, so that you actually have a contest and you have some faith in your teammates, and then you've got players running to the foot of the pack. They can take a crumb. When it gets 15-20 metres out from goal, that's a hot spot, and that's when sides and backmen really get the jitters. Here's a chance for Cross. Here's a young man who's doing well. Murphy. All of a sudden you can see some bounce in the Bulldogs. Here's a chance for Murphy. Also just coming to the side, Brad Murphy. came in to replace Mitch Hahn. Again, a big bomb inside 50. They need some crumbers. This is where the players have got to run hard, get there, because Chris Grant will do the contesting. Now, the whistle has gone, and a free kick is going back, and it's going to the Crows.
That's the bottom line. If you're going to kick it long, you have to have support at ground level, and that, on that occasion they didn't. Here's an opportunity for the Dogs.
Murphy was clever, had it, lost it. Maybe caught in two minds. Goes wide, finds Rutten.
Had a good start, Rutten.
Very strong, and he's actually really confident in his own ability. And I think that's what you have to be when you're playing defence, especially being caught one out at times.
Tawney just ambles away from half-back. Henschel was the high flyer. Rawlings at ground level. Gilby now strutting his stuff across half-back. He's already kicked 2 goals for the Bulldogs. He's their sole goal kicker. The Bulldogs worked the ball forward. High ball came from cross. Here's Rashudo. At centre half-back. Had it and lost it. Chance now for Matner. Gets support from Skipworth through the centre square. The Crows look dangerous. Here's a chance. Perry in front. Too much carry on the ball. Paddling the ball along is Welsh. Hargrave. He's kept his footing. Taken away by Darcy. Great presence of mind. To McMahon. Who's a dasher from half back. Murphy playing out in front of John Cock. Has been good since coming off the bench. Eagleton put front on in the tackle and dumped. Loose ball. Tawney. Boyd was desperate. And the Bulldog players, well,
Too high. Goodwin's free kick.
it was a free kick, but at least the Bulldog players got numbers around the ball.
I reckon Jordan McMahon will have a chat to young Murphy. When he was on the lead, he only went half pace. He had the opportunity to stream up and take it on his chest.
It's exactly what Bassett's doing now. Streaming into the forward line. Harris, the spoil. Working hard. Morris in his first game, and he's certainly going to remember his first quarter. He's caught, well, the ball up 40 metres out from the Adelaide Crows goal. Inside the last minute, they lead by 5 points.
Both sides, Matty, are finding it hard to keep their feet and also to control the ball. It must be obviously a bit slippery or a bit dewy out there at the moment.
Rashudo off the ground. We'll see Biglands get one, keeping it low, and Henschel does well. Another goal for the Crows right before quarter time. The cross came in from Rashudo, the finishing touch from Henschel.
Well, Gary Ayres was always renowned for his soccer skills way back when, so it's obviously something that's just taken a little bit of time to come out here.
Well, I'm glad I'm seeing it tonight, Jared. Something worked in 5 years.
Pretty good game of footy here, both sides scoring freely. And at the moment, it looks as if the Crows have got most of the answers.
The interesting thing here, Jared, is that when the Western Bulldogs win the ball defensive edge of the centre circle, a lot of their players break to the wing.
Henschel has been at 5 goals now for the season, just in game number 26. Word's just come to the broadcasting box also, Jared. Dale Morris says that Rashudo picked him up, and also McLeod has been sent on to him.
Big reputation coming into this match. Yeah, Rodney Eads style Ezzy, generally those outriders. We've heard him talk about it. We've heard the Bulldogs players tell us about those wing outriders.
Well, there was Skipworth, drove the ball long, taken away by Murphy. Needs good support. Puts it from Morris. The kick's a poor one, a chance for Perry. Needs clean hands, needed a kind bounce, got an ugly one. Taking chance by Welsh, quick snap. And Rawlings, desperate, right on the line, has saved a goal as the siren sounds to end the first quarter. Interesting contest at Telstra Dome. Adelaide Crows 4-3-27. They lead by 11 points. The Bulldogs 2-4.
Well, there's Neil Craig strutting out to the group. He'd be pretty pleased. He's got one big decision to make. Who are they going to put on Dale Morris in the second quarter? But
he's killing them.
He is absolutely slaughtering them. But a good start to the Adelaide Crows. Away from home, slippery conditions. They know that their opposition are going to be pumped up because of Chris Grant's 300th, but they've got a pretty handy lead, Matthew, on the scoreboard.
Yes, for the 5th time this season they have won the first quarter. They're here at the Telstra Dome and they lead the Western Bulldogs by 11 points. We'll take a break. Be back for the second quarter after this.
Can't catch every game? Then watch The Winners.
We'll recap everything you need to know about every game.
Every Sunday, get all the highlights, stats and post-match reaction from every game with this week's host, Clinton Drivers.
It's footy's ultimate wrap every Sunday.
The Winners, this Sunday on Fox Footy Channel.
Traffic? It'll kill me.
I know.
Her Royal Highness is on the phone. Again?
I know.
How unusual. The caveman's downloading from the internet. It all adds up, you know. Don't even get me started on line rental and the setup costs. Do you have any idea how much this all costs?
Yes. I know.
Primus One Broadband. Never pay for local calls. Get unlimited downloads and line rental for one simple fee. Plus right now get a free modem. Sounds good? It is. Primus. Go on, change.
Do we really need all these lights on?
How would you like to see your favourite team play here at Subiaco Oval in Perth? Virgin Blue will fly you and a friend. You'll have waterfront accommodation at the Seaville Residence East Perth. Thrifty car rental for 7 days to explore Perth and the beautiful Margaret River region. And a luxurious ocean view villa at Key West Resort Bunker Bay, arguably one of WA's best beaches. Plus, enjoy lunch at the famous Fast Felix Winery and Restaurant. Simply SMS your name plus your favourite AFL team for your chance to win.
Imagine you get home from work, too tired to go to a movie. Besides, you can't do a thing with your hair, and the weather is terrible. Relax. Foxtel Box Office is bringing the cinema experience to you. Get a preview of what's on offer on Foxtel Box Office Preview, Channel 114. Change how you see movies. Foxtel Box Office, where movies come first. Experience Foxtel Box Office only on digital.
Wednesday on AFL Love Match, join host Rebecca Wilson as Carlton midfielder Colin McGrath battles it out against Hawthorn half-forward and handyman Campbell Brown.
How big is his toolkit? No comment.
AFL Love Match, a real test of teamwork. Wednesday on Fox Footy Channel. Last week on The Gospel.
I went to the gym the other day and a few people come up afterwards and go, oh, what are the guys like? I thought, how do you see them? Nathan Brown looks like he thinks he's, you know what, doesn't step.
They would have been C-grade degenerate people that you go to gym with.
Does not take criticism well, Nathan Brown.
The Gospel, Friday on Fox Footy Channel.
Welcome back to the Telstra Dome. Saturday night football, and at quarter time the Adelaide Crows lead the Western Bulldogs by 11 points. Lindsay Gilbey, 2 goals for the Dogs. He's got 7 disposals to go with that. Sam Power came off at the 20-minute mark with 9, so he's kept up his good form from last week. All singles for the Adelaide Crows. Biglands, Henschel, Perry and Thompson all getting goals, and Simon Goodwin's been busy in game number 150 for him. Neil Craig will be very happy with the start he's had once again, and it's been pretty busy down on the boundary. Let's hear from Tiffany Cherry once again. Hi, Tiff.
Hello. Well, there's no injury concerns for either side. As you said, Neil Craig pretty happy, all well in their camp, and a couple of the players, you did mention that it was a bit dewy. A couple of the players changed their boots to the stop, so obviously to try and stop them from slipping over. As far as Rodney Eade, well, he was at his vocal best, very unhappy with their skill errors, so he was imploring them obviously to improve that, and that's about it from down here.
Thanks, Tiff. Another game being played tonight, that at the SCG between Melbourne and the Sydney Swans. We're going to show you a progress score from that game. If you'd like to watch the replay and you don't want to know the score, you know the drill. You can look away now. Things set to go for the second quarter, Jared.
I mentioned in the first quarter an issue for young Brad Murphy, who's was on the lead from about 30 metres out from goal. Here's McMahon looking, and if you just look up forward, I'm told you can see now. There he is. There he's just cruising to that ball. Now from about 30 metres before that, he was still in slow motion rather than sprinting as far as he could, getting away from his direct opponent.
Who's got some pace himself in Graham Johncock.
Yeah.
Set to go for the second term. There is Brad Murphy, a late inclusion into the side with Mitch Hahn being out, an important player. Mitch Hahn has Scott West was trying to get it out. Eventually it was Minson. Here's John Cock, right with him. Robert Murphy. Henshaw did well. Got it inside Edwards, but there's a free kick now. It's going back to Henshaw.
Matty, you've also got John Cox started that centre square, and actually Andrew McLeod was playing out of the back pocket, so there's possibly a rotation between John Cox and McLeod.
It ends up with Doughty, who got it from Marty Matner. Now Doughty on the point of the square. They've got some numbers. They've got Perry all on his own. He leads hard. He's going to come late. Here he comes. Over the top. Couldn't take it.
Good spoil from Rawlings coming crashing over the top.
Cross. Went to ground. Got up. Gave it away. Scotty West. Rawlings again. Up through the middle to Power. Running hard Cooney. Could have used Smith. Runs into a brick wall. There's crows everywhere. And away they go once again. Matner back through the middle. This is dangerous for Adelaide. Goodwin. Got it from Hudson. Took too long. Kick off the side. Perry for the half volley. Hands it off nicely to Bassett. Doesn't really want to kick for goal. Decides to. And does it up and kicks the goal. Doesn't kick a lot of goals, Nathan Bassett. That's goal number 20 in game number 132. And for a second there, he's just looking to hand off, but he's kicked a goal in the end.
And Bassett was the free player back in the middle in that particular chain of events there that Cooney ended up turning the ball over. So he's ran forward hard, and he got on the end of it and kicked a good goal.
Of course, it was all came about, and that's an excited player there because Cooney didn't really have the option to long bomb. I think that the focus is always on laying off, and they've got them into trouble.
Would have liked to have seen Jordan McMahon actually smother the ball. Great opportunity to smother that ball. He went for the bump, and Bassett is actually kicking the ball from 15 metres out. Had to really get his head and his arms and his hands right over that ball. Here's a chance for the Bulldogs. McLeod in defence. What do you think about that move, Gary?
Watch out. They might say something about it, Kev.
Here's Darcy on the stretch.
It's obviously not working if Darcy's marking like that.
So Luke Darcy is marked, and he's shooting from directly in front from 40 metres out. And he can kick a goal. It's one of his strengths, Luke Darcy.
With the way that they're playing, Kev, you'd like to see Luke be able to do this more, because I think it's a real advantageous play of his.
And he's smart too. He can sort of slot in and get a short kick, can't he, Luke Darcy?
Yeah, I think it's his future. He's got another 100 games to offer the Bulldogs as a key forward.
Well, he's kicked 5 goals for the season in game number 203, Luke Darcy. To give the Bulldogs a lift from 40 metres out directly in front. Here's a dead-eye deck.
And something to cheer about that young girl, because the captain has got them on the board for their 3rd goal. And it was one they really needed after the Bassett goal. They really needed to reply quickly. And there's Cooney. This time he finds the option. And it was a half option made good by the captain.
First set shot conversion, Jared, out of the last 3.
And he didn't miss, did he? Straight through.
Darcy, the answering goal for the Bulldogs. The margin back to what it was at quarter time, 11 points. Hudson against Minson. Minson just has a quick glance. Goes again with the clearance. Out of the circle. Murphy trying to use the body on Bassett. He'll get some support from Smith. Decides to go back into the middle to Minson. He can go further. Oh, a terrible kick, but it may come off. West under the pump, wrapped up by Goodwin over the back. Cooney needs to be clean here. He is. Over to Murphy. Robert Murphy wants Grant over the back. Johnson. Well, not bad when you can have Grant or Johnson up forward. 2 of the stars of the Western Bulldogs. And Brad Johnson will line up from 30 metres out. 7 goals, 8 so far this season. Coming off another good game last week with 26 disposals. Johnson for 2 quick goals for the Bulldogs. Not a problem. And just, we see so many times Johnson as that second option coming deep from the square.
He's a very smart player, Matty, and of course the other thing is that Andrew McLeod's been back in defence, Jared, for the last 3 minutes, and there's been 2 goals scored. What should Neil Craig do?
Well, I reckon he should get on the phone to you straight away, Gary.
I remember a state game where Stephen Kernahan was the primary leader and Neville Roberts was the leader up behind him, and Neville Roberts kicked about 5 goals in about 10 minutes on some pretty high quality opponents.
Crows by 5 points, 5-3-33. The Bulldogs 4-4-28. We see Brad Johnson on screen bouncing around. Here's Cooney, explosive player. Gets it across the cross. Who's a much improved player. Murphy's been handy since coming off the bench. Good kick. Finds Ian Syracuse. He stands on 50. Here's Grant. Make it Johnson. Got carried away then. I thought Grant was on a long lead.
He's playing through in the games, Kevin. He can play whatever he likes.
Here's Murphy. I think he cut off Grant's lead. Chance for Power.
Good vision, that.
Floats the ball in. And Gilby, who's kicked a couple of goals to the goal square. And Darcy has the ball knocked out of his arms through for a behind.
And they're just riding the momentum here at the moment. The Western Bulldogs they've got control of the match. They've got to find some more scores. And obviously the Crows, they've just got to ride it through until they can swing the changes and regain momentum.
Well, the Bulldogs look inspired at the moment. Got plenty of bounce. They trail by 4 points. McLeod to bring the ball back into play. Stands and delivers. Kicks a long bomb. Straight down into the centre square. Here's a chance over the top. That time was Hudson. Couldn't take it. Bulldogs have got the numbers. Gilby is a real live wire and a great kick. Finds Rowan Smith. He'll stand right on 50. Backs himself in. Runs to 45. Closes to 40. Hammers it home. They're in front, Jared.
Yeah, it's been a great quarter by the Western Bulldogs. Now kicking with that, what be 3 or 4 goal win. So they really have turned this around, and well, they've got something to think about, the Crows. But just the way Rowan Smith set himself there, he had goals written all over his body language from before he even got the ball.
It was, Jared, and certainly it was great play by the Bulldogs players to cut that long kick off, get the ball back, and then score a goal.
Rowan Smith, 3 Bulldogs goals very quickly. His second for the season. It's been a bit off target of late, but he's got the Doggies in front by 2 points. And they've been winning it out of the middle. This time it's Goodwin to Riley. Doughty stepping and banging it forward over the top of Henschel. Perry arrives. Gets an unkind bounce. Hands and knees, shoots it out. Edwards there lurking. McMahon coming through, wrapped up by 2 Crows. And we'll have a ball up, but a good attack on the ball from young Jordan McMahon.
Matty McLeod and Graham Johncock have changed, and actually Brad Johnson went up onto the wing with Andrew McLeod there, so that move's been made.
Cooney's been a dangerous player this quarter. He is now pushed forward, but he's had mainly handballs. He's such a beautiful kick. You'd like to see him get in a position where he can kick it more.
Prosciutto trying to clear. Begley pushing it forward. Goodwin opening up Edwards. Straightens up, gets on his left. He's good on both sides. Tyson Edwards. And he doesn't let the Crows down. They're back in front. A wonderful player. Played his 200th game last week. His 4th goal for the season. Always in the top 3 of the best and fairest. And that's the reason why. He's a great finisher.
And he's been an excellent player for the Crows in the last 5 years, I must add too, Jared. So for him to be able to crumb that ball and then get onto his left side, which is obviously not his dominant side, and be able to score a goal, he's a very effective player, Tyson. Can actually play in a variety of positions and roles as well.
Had an outstanding career for the Crows. Used Andrew McLeod as a dummy to come back and score.
Tyson Edwards on screen. I like the play of Prosciutto, just throwing the ball onto the boot, nothing fancy, under pressure, kick the ball forward, gets knocked on, picked up, all of a sudden a goal to the Crows.
Cloud's gone forward.
39 plays, 35 at Telstra Dome. Darcy to West. Ian Syracuse, quick kick, Gilby. He loves to back himself in. Scotty West, a running machine. Goes wide and finds Johnson.
That is a magnificent kick from Scott West.
Another shot.
And Johnson bangs it through. He's got 2.
Yeah, but he looks injured, Kim.
He looked like he wanted to pass it off, Jared. He had no time to think about it. Danced on the spot, then decided to kick it.
It's either a strategy to turn it into an on-the-run kick for himself, or he just didn't back himself, because when he let go, he just timed it magnificently, like Rowan Smith's. It did not look like missing, and they've had a big lift. You're right, Gary. He is coming from the ground, Dowdy, but Rowan Smith, Scott West, and Brad Johnson have all had major quarters in this term.
The big names coming to the fore for the Western Bulldogs as Doughty goes to the bench for the Crows, but Johnson, West now with 12 disposals. Johnson with his second goal. They've kicked 4 of the last 5. And Darcy was knocking it down towards cross. Second effort is good. Give on the up, McMahon. Giant Syracuse belting it forward. Here's Murphy playing in front. Bad bounce for him. Gilby trying to run onto it. Matner does so for the Crows. Johnson trying to step Cooney. Or Johncock, I should say. He did it well. Matner, Rashudo, not much room there. Still found Goodwin. That's wonderful. Presence of mind by the captain. Riley, not so. Short pass. Half volley again for Perry. Riley kept going. Opens himself up from 55 metres. Kicks it long. Welsh in best position. Couldn't take it. Hargrave. Welsh still alive. Can he get boot to ball? No. Hargraves rolls it over the line. Free kick though. Adelaide free kick coming back to Scott Welsh.
Well, he has had 3 goes at getting this goal, and the umpire's giving him a 4th. I didn't really see it, but he went one arm when he could have probably taken the mark. Then he missed the one on the ground level, and no doubt he'll go back and stop this.
Hasn't kicked the goal as yet. Last time they met, he kicked 7 goals and picked up 3 Brownlow votes. Welsh kicks the goal. Adelaide back in front.
I thought it was deft skills by Ian Perry on the boundary line here, Gary, just to hold. Riley actually had to read his mind to make the whole thing work, but in the end, Perry just let it go down. To me, that he'll have a look at that, Scott Welsh, and think he could have done better in that marking attempt. He had Hargraves where he wanted him, and there was the free kick. He was going to kick a goal anyway, so justice was done.
7 goals kicked in this second term. Crows lead 7-3-45 by 4 points, 6-5-41 the Bulldogs. Skipworth the tackler. Cross. Somehow shovel the ball out. Just trying to bullock their way through. That time. That came from Matner.
Bulldogs are keeping this structure because Will Minson has gone to the goal square. We see Luke Darcy now on the ball, but they've still got that big man up there for Brad Johnson to work around.
Murphy just couldn't quite take it cleanly.
At times Murphy just seems a bit lackadaisical. I think that's the point that you made before, Jared, that he really should have met the ball with some real speed and intensity and urgency.
Ball up on the edge of the centre square. Darcy, the skipper, just giving out some directions. He's got Biglan's to beat. Rashudo, fresh air shot. Quick hands. Here's a chance for Goodwin. 150th game as Bigland goes to the ground, then somehow just shoveled it out through the back door. Pinched that time by John McMahon, who loves to run with the ball. Sets it up to Rowan Smith, kicks a high bomb. Danger here. Maybe a free kick given away that time. Not played. Johnson went before acceptances. Here's a chance for McGregor. Dances on a dollar. Rockets the ball. Coming away is Van Burlow from half back onto the left side. Great kick. Finds Biglands. They need some run. Off the bench comes Thompson. Runs through the centre square. Just wobbles the ball inside 50. He's looking for Welsh. Got Hargraves to beat. Gives him the slip. To Edwards. Really wastes the ball and finds Riley.
I'll tell you what, it was great defensive work down there in the back pocket, if you want to use the old term, by Jason Tawney. Gary, you would have appreciated it given the role you played as a great for Hawthorn, but he just took Johnson's run, didn't he?
He did, and then you had the other assistance of the other defenders in Johncock and McGregor and Bassett getting back there to help out as well, Jared.
Goodwin unloads a big bomb, leaves nothing behind. It's going, it's going, it's gone.
Well,
Did you see that?
In his 150th game, it's a good goal to kick, Jerry.
I've seen a new kick, Kev. Can you explain what that was?
It's called the pie floater.
Look, was it somebody actually mentioned down the crowd a torpedo? we haven't seen a torpedo kicked at the Telstra Dome.
Oh no, I kicked one in 1984. I can remember it distinctly.
Could be the last. It's like the dodo bird. We've seen another one.
Simon Goodwin having a great night, 14 disposals, and he kicked the torpedo and surprised everyone, including the Bulldogs defenders. They didn't expect it to carry that 60, 70 metres. Great kick. Crows all of a sudden back in front by 10 points. As Gian Syracuse puts the Bulldogs inside their forward 50. Van Berlo getting there first as the ball came to ground level. McGregor. Skipworth through the middle. Rawlings. Spills it. Henshaw inside 50. Wrong side of the post for Trent Henshaw. Let's go down to the boundary for Tip Cherry.
Michael Doherty came off with some back spasms in the left side of his lower back. He's gone down. We went down the race to get some treatment, and the doctor went down with his kit. I'd say he got some injections into his trigger points. It looks like they've released it, and he's okay to come back on.
Murphy to kick in for the Dogs. Adelaide 52, Western Bulldogs 41. As Harris searches for Gian Syracuse, makes a meal of it. What can the Crows do on the turnover? Matner just heading long. High ball, big pack forming. Murphy in the best spot. Always had eyes for the footy and took a good mark. They go wide. Hargrave.
Just a bad
terrible kick
by the Western Bulldogs. About 4 in the last 5 minutes of costing badly.
Wonderful chase by Grant. Wrapping up Riley. The crowd want a free kick. They're not going to be rewarded. It's play on. Umpire giving plenty of time. Finally decides we'll have a ball up. Listen to the Bulldogs crowd.
I'd love to have a good look at that again, because I think the Bulldogs supporters are right. It looked as if the Adelaide Crows player who was tackled had prior opportunity. It was a great tackle. It was Riley. Chris Grant dragged him down from behind.
A couple of efforts there from Chris Grant going unrewarded. Bassett runs onto it for the Crows and back through to Edwards. In turn, over the top, Riley. Chipping up the line, but reading it well is Chris Grant. He got the footy after all, Kevin.
Goes short. Two wise heads combined. Scotty West to Gilby, who's a thumping kick. Bangs it back. Here's a chance. Johnson floating across is McGregor. And takes a big grab. Riley. He was a young man who played some good football last year, wasn't he, Gary? I think under your tutelage.
He's got enormous courage, Ken McGregor, and when he sets his sights on the ball, he's very, very hard to move, and that again shows the great courage that Ken can perform at.
And young Brent Riley also is a fine young player. I know he copped a bit of a bagging early in the season from Andrew Jarman, but he's bounced back. This is Thompson, and across from the Demons to Tawney. A good season. High ball looking for Perry. Thumped away that time by Hargrave. Skipworth sets it up. Great vision. Welsh from 15 metres out. Quick snap. He's missed. Through for a behind. Wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it looked as if it was going to be a goal right from the word go. It's a good little bit of work by Perry again to create the crumb. The handball was probably just a little bit too high, which meant Welsh had to hang in the air.
Be a bit selfish sometimes, Jared. Go for a shot yourself.
Never hurt.
Goes by 12 points. Power. Short the boy, who is quick, loves to run with the ball. There's a penetrating kick. He's quick through the air. This time Matner traps it in front of Darcy. And we've got a boundary throw in. On centre wing.
Changing with Rashudo.
And Cooney's back on the ground for West.
And Begley seems to be a bit of a run-with-type player. He's got Brad Johnson at the moment, but he had Scott West for 5 minutes before that on ball.
Biglands did well in front of Darcy, and Thompson just hugging the boundary line. Chance for Perry. He's got it to Skipworth. Needs clean hands, needs support. Rashudo running hard. Almost an impossible angle. Puts it through for behind.
And Jade Rawlings has gone to centre-half forward. He's interchanged with Chris Grant, who has gone to centre-half back.
Well, there's the turnover once again from the Bulldogs, and this will be Ian Perry. Right on his mark here. Just about get home from 55. He'll have to kick it.
The AFL, we know, are running the Memorable Moments competition, and I think the winner of this week was Malcolm Blight's Torpedo. Now, maybe he has inspired a new generation of torpedoes. And this is a shot, Gary, where you'd encourage him, I'm sure, to go for the big talk.
Why not?
He's gone for the drop punt. It's going to hook across the front. Big pack forming. Easiest of rush behinds. As Adelaide now just creeping out. 8 goals, 7 to 6-5. The margin out to 14 points.
Didn't read the script.
High risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward.
Murphy to kick in for the Bulldogs to Patrick Bowden. And he's going to go back to Murphy, who hasn't moved out of the square. We've seen that a couple of times for the Bulldogs already. Short. And Messi. McMahon back to Murphy, who's not allowed to go out of the square apparently. And they've turned it over. Perry, Edwards, Rashudo lurking laterally.
Oh, he's close.
Harris just doing enough. Edwards, tight angle, very hard to kick a goal from there. In the end, wanted to get the middle and did. The spoil was good. Griffin, short pass, excellent. On the turnover, what can the Bulldogs do? Smith, Dejan Siracusa, one-on-one, good spoil. Griffin had run on, but he's going to be run down by Matner. Forcing it forward, still alive, Dejan Siracusa. Gets hands free, Smith off the ground, it's still in play, high ball. Over the back, Johnson, Thompson will rush it behind. Smith was looking for his own memorable moment by kicking the ball out of midair.
Would have been one too, like Ryan Griffin, Kevin, he looks
free kick. Sorry, Jared, free kick.
Well, this was all set up by Rowan Smith.
Here we go. Now, Thompson not happy with the attention he gets from Brad Johnson, and there must have been a little bit more in that as Johnson round the corner, looks for number 3. Hits the post, so perhaps some justice there, we'll never know.
Well, I don't think Thompson actually did anything untoward Johnson on that bit of vision we saw.
Yeah.
John Cock to bring the ball back into play. 8-7-55 the Crows. The Bulldogs 6-6-42.
Generally they run out
13 points.
When they run out of the short option, they just tend to go long. And it's worked okay for them.
Minson looked at the umpire because he was pushed out of the contest. So a second glance, and he's got it. Minson. Too far out to score. Jade Rawlings is going to be an option. He's got him in his sights, coming across and thumping the ball forwards. Good defensive play that time by Thompson. Chance that time, Tawney to Tyson Edwards. They combine well. Van Berlo had it and lost it. Tyson goes to ground. Murphy. John Cock tried to take him on. He stood his ground by Jan Siracusa. It was a great tackle.
How'd you see it, Kev?
Well, I don't think he had enough time. I didn't have prior opportunity, but he tried to use a bit of muscle. And well done to Jan Siracusa for standing his ground. But there's a chance for the Bulldogs. Just 25 metres out from goal. Darcy to do the ruck work. James Hudson. McGregor comes over the top. Thompson squeezed up on the boundary line. He's looking for Perry. He's going to be out-muscled this time by Harris, who thumps the ball over the line for a toss back in.
I think so, Jared, that Rodney need to be a bit disappointed when that long high kick comes into the forward 50, that the Bulldogs don't have any crumbers there when they're getting to the fall of the ball.
Got to run hard. I think it's because a lot of players these days, Gary, it's a possession game. And it's not so much of a hard running game, pushing up in between the kicker and the receiver. But there's goals to be got. McGregor looking for a free kick.
Well, gentlemen, we saw the free kick given to Brad Johnson before with Scott Thompson went over the line. And that's it.
Well,
you can see why Scott Thompson's a bit upset.
I'm a bit surprised. Minson thumps the ball forward. He was looking for Gilby. Beaten that time by McLeod, who did it well. He was just on hands and knees. Gives it across to Goodwin. Rockets the ball down. Here's a chance. Chris Grant got a fist to the ball. It was good defensive play. Harris slides under the ball. Danger here. Grant. Just a one-grab player. Goes wide to Minson. He's got 3 to beat. And the big man hugs the boundary line and puts it out on the full.
Just on the possession game, Kevin, it's basically, well, it's based on having great skills. And this ground is not the ground to try and pinpoint passes, because if they're a metre out and you have to shift your weight back the other way, we've seen Bulldog players and Crows players go to ground so often that it has created opportunities in the worst spots.
Here's Perry, just put into the spot. It was a well-weighted kick because Hudson just ran onto the ball.
But also poor by Harris then too, Kev. Like, he made really no effort to try and chop that ball off at all.
Harris, this time, just tested himself as a trapeze artist. Chance for Henshaw, wrapped up in the tackle by Grant. Cooney goes to the ground, holding his head. Chance for Massey's coming to the side. Replacing Shirley, he's wrapped up in the tackle. And we've got a ball up Tiffany Cherry.
Brent Riley came off with some leg soreness. Looked like he copped a heavy knock on the lower part of his left leg, so just keep an eye on him. He's on the bench.
Adelaide by 13 points, and we're inside the last 4 minutes of the first half. Goodwin is lurking right behind Murphy, and he's also got to beat Massey now. Is that out of bounds on the full? It isn't. So we'll have a boundary throw in. Goodwin has been excellent for the Crows. And it's just coming, wow, very tight there, coming off the boot of Murphy. Perry over the top. There's Murphy again. Robert Murphy runs into Welsh, giving it up. Perry scooping it back out. Welsh going again out towards Marty Mattner. Can he get on his left and hook it round enough? Oh, he hits the post. Kevin marking it down, but that wasn't a bad effort from Marty Mattner.
It's a good play, Marty Mattner. I think he's really coming to the fore. I know he would probably, as a lot of players, Gary developed more negatively, but now he seems to be just starting to blossom a bit.
He had that defensive bent to his game, Jared, where he was great from a negating point of view. Really was streaks ahead of everybody else as far as tackles go. Now he's actually become more offensive, and I think it's really complementing his game.
Yeah, once again leading the tackles, Mattner, but game number 38 now. Starting to feel his way and feel comfortable. Cooney wasn't feeling comfortable. The ball went through his legs. Hudson bangs it forward. The big spoil came from Harris. It sits now for Welsh. He'll head towards the pocket. Well done by Dale Morris. Just got to handle it. Edwards shipping it over the top. Is it 15? It is. Rashudo will kick from 25 metres out.
Well, once again, the Bulldogs went long. It was a great kick. They had Minson and Chris Grant there to affect the contest, but they didn't have any players at support level, so haven't gone long that often over Rodney Eads' month or so at the helm, and I suspect it's something that they're working on. They're just going to have to know their game plan a bit better.
Wouldn't you like Adam Cooney just to be a bit harder over the ball too, Jared? Because he was the one that could have actually got the free ball, and then the Bulldogs were away.
Mark Rashudo, 1 goal 4 for this season. Shouldn't present any problem. 25 metres out, 45-degree angle, right behind him. Ball splits in the middle. The Crows have a big break of 20 points, 2 minutes before half-time. The biggest break of the match, when the Bulldogs hit the front, the Crows have responded.
It's been a good fight back by the Crows, and it's probably something that will frustrate Rodney to some degree, in that they do appear at the Bulldogs this season as if they're only capable of playing in bursts. And that is, they give you 10 minutes of great footy per quarter, they kick 3 or 4 electric goals, and then all of a sudden it's shut up shop time. They don't appear capable at the moment of playing 30 minutes a quarter.
Bulldogs rock balance. The Crows now extend the lead to 20 points. Hudson, been a revelation this year. That young man from Werribee has played less than 20 games, and he's 26 years of age. Here's a chance for the Bulldogs. Gian Siracusa has to kick a goal to the goal square. Not enough carry on the ball, and finally it's forced through from behind. Tell us a little bit about Hudson, because he's 26 and he's played less than 20 games. We don't see too many 26-year-olds on a league list with that amount of games.
You don't, Kev, but I think it was a great recruiting coup from James Fantasia. He'd been watching him play for Werribee, and he'd had that background where he played also up in Queensland and played on quite a few of the sort of lesser lights in the competition in the VFL, and he's really just been a quite mature player as far as coming into this level, and he's just continued to improve over the last 18 months.
Well, he has been a surprise packet as far as the ruck is concerned. Well, people suggest he's been just about the key to the Crows in the first 4 games of the season. Here's Scott Thompson to see the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Well, he's added that mobility to the midfield, and I wrote the midfield names down. They're greats. Rashudo, Edwards, Goodwin, McLeod. You throw in Thompson, who's a really good young player, and Riley. That's a top quality midfield.
There's a chance for Massey, rockets the ball wide. Van Berlo stands right on 50, hammers the ball long. He's off target.
I reckon if you can add a ruckman with great pace and great mobility, you've got an extra bonus when you come up against sides that may have taller ruckmen, but the mobility counts for plenty.
He's quite intelligent too how he plays the game as well, Gerard, and he's been able to actually do all the training and really, which is probably unheard of for someone who's come out of the lesser league.
Jordan McMahon was a good kick that was quick through the air. He spotted Chris Grant, who started on the forward line, now playing in defence, to Hargrave. Back edge of the centre square, goes short to Eagleton. Also started on the bench, finds Cooney. That was better, was great grab. Goes short, looking out in front this time. It's been taken by Jade Rawlings. Can he kick it, Gerard?
Well, I've been in... he's had some good attacks in the footy. He's won some hard ball. He crashed a couple of packs. He's taken a more physical approach to his game tonight. But this is the challenge. This isn't a physical challenge. This is the mental challenge.
Game number 140. He just wasn't strong enough to have a crack at it. Eagleton can. The distance is there, but again, off target. Hasn't kicked a goal this season, Jade Rawlings. And maybe the confidence is gone.
I reckon that one was probably outside of his distance, so hopefully he gets another opportunity.
Last 30 seconds of the first half, and the Crows lead by 19 points. Eagleton on the ground. Scott West just having a spell just before half-time. What will John Cobb do? The huddle forms and then breaks. He heads to the outer side and he heads to the run of Van Berlo. Rutten, pressured by Eagleton, will have a ball in.
The Bulldogs will see that as a win too, Matty, that of course they've forced the ball out of bounds 60 metres out from their goal.
They've still got time to pinch one before the break. Darcy will do battle with Hudson. Flicks it over the back, but it's all Adelaide. John Cobb. Eagleton there first for the Bulldogs. Rashudo got a call from Goodwin to McLeod. And there's still 13 seconds for this man. On the burst.
Mattner's going straight down the middle.
McLeod doesn't know about the clock. Runs to the 50. What a finish this will be to the first half of the Crows. Mattner's there. Mattner heard you, Gerard. And Mattner kicks the goal.
Did he play on?
I reckon
I called him play on.
I think it'll be a goal.
I reckon he played on after the siren.
Controversy right at half-time.
We need video umpiring goal.
It'll be a goal to Mattner. Bulldogs fans unhappy. Crows fans ecstatic. They pitch a goal right at half-time. We'll take another look at that and see whether he was right on time. But it's in the book. The umpires still chat.
Hello.
It's always been waved off. Gerard, well called.
I reckon we heard the siren. And then he played on.
Well, it's Chris Grant's 300 game.
He played on, and then the siren went before he kicked the ball.
Fair chance we're going to have about 10 looks at it.
And here's Rashudo having some words with the umpire. And of course, the quarter is over when the umpire hears the siren, not when he puts his arms in the air.
Plenty of debate about whether Marty Magnus' goal will be allowed. Well, from the point of view of the game, it's been disallowed. It's a great call, according to Kevin Butler, who's on the rules committee.
Which one?
We'll look at it
the second.
after the break. At half-time, the Crows lead the Western Bulldogs by 19 points.
At the special time of 5 p.m. Sunday, it's twilight action at its best as your Anzac weekend comes alive on Fox Footy Channel. Buckle up for St Kilda and Richmond, live and exclusive from the Telstra Dome. Join footy's #1 commentary team every quarter commercial free. Digital subscribers, just press red to access even more options. Your Sunday lineup starts at 5 with the Saints and Tigers, live and exclusive. The winners' weekend highlights from 8, followed by the Lions and Eagles.
On Tuesday night, the highest flying swan of them all, Bobby. Not Mr. Tight Shorts himself. Warwick Cabot, plus a tough man with the Bombers and the Kangaroos, Johnny Casson.
Grumpy Old Men, Tuesday on Fox Footy Channel.
Go Harvey Norman for digital photo printing at a low 33 cents for 6x4 photos. Capture those magical moments on your digital camera. Go to your nearest Harvey Norman store, place your digital media card in our easy-to-use digital processing centre, follow the simple instructions. Great quality 6x4 prints for just 33 cents per print. That's right, just 33 cents. Harvey Norman, your digital camera and processing specialist.
Go, Harvey, Norman, go!
How would you like to see your favourite team play here at Subiaco Oval in Perth? Virgin Blue will fly you and a friend. You'll have waterfront accommodation at the Seagull Residence East Perth. Thrifty car rental for 7 days to explore Perth and the beautiful Margaret River region. And a luxurious ocean view villa at Key West Resort Bunker Bay, arguably one of WA's best beaches. Plus, enjoy lunch at the famous Fast Felix Winery and Restaurant. Simply SMS your name plus your favourite AFL team for your chance to win.
We're here in Melbourne to relive a classic footy moment that has it all.
Who else could give us all this?
Who else but the maestro? Hey! James. Hey, guys. All right, so it's Essendon 131, West Coast 131. 30 minutes and 48 seconds gone.
Umpire has the ball up and it's on.
He's got it.
Hey! Maybe Murphy.
I'm not the umpire, I'm Bully. Bully, get it out the head.
Wait, the fairy tale's complete. James Hard, you are it. Yes! Get it hard!
As your team goes through its final preparations for the weekend's matchup, let Fox Footy remind you what happened last time the sides collided. Footy is all about passion and history. Relive the passion. Thursdays and Fridays on Last Time They Met.
Back to the Telstra Dome, half-time. It's been a big night so far for Chris Grant, but his side still has plenty of work to do because they trail the Adelaide Crows by 19 points at half-time. Gilby got the first 2 goals for the Dogs. Johnson got a couple in that second term, and the Crows have really been sharing their goals around. And as usual, the big names for the Crows in the middle, leading the possessions. Robert Murphy with 16 for the Western Bulldogs. Great run by Martin Mattner just before half-time. He ran very hard as McLeod went down one side, Mattner went down the other. He got it right on the line. It wasn't a goal.
It was an amazing turn of events. People at home won't see this, but Marty Mattner at this stage has already taken off from behind the square. He is driving. His run was about the best part of 100 metres. He's telling Welsh to get out of the square. He finally just powers to the goal square, takes the mark, plays on after the siren sounds.
And the umpire had noticed the siren.
Well, I think the first umpire didn't, but the second umpire, the controlling bloke in the middle of the ground, and maybe the more experienced umpire, came forward and overturned this rule. So there was 2 umpires there who would appear as if agreed, but somebody came from behind the play and took away what was probably going to be a match-ending goal.
It was a very important goal right before half-time, wasn't it? I mean, the Bulldogs had got in front, they'd played quite well, they'd kicked 4 goals in a row. All of a sudden, the Crows reacted, and if they were powering away before half-time, the Crows.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes before half-time was quite superb. The Dogs have played in fits and starts. Gilby was a constant for them in the first quarter. He was an excellent player, kicked a couple of goals. He's the only person to kick goals for them in the first quarter. Jen Siracusa has always picked up a number of possessions. Well, that was an unbelievable miss by Brad Johnson. They just couldn't find the goals in the first quartered the Dogs, and it was left just to a couple of blown soldiers. But here's Chris Green. He was getting absolutely poleaxed forward. And Gilby goes forward once again to pick up his second in the first turn. But the Dogs were really playing catch-up footy because the Crows played a pretty good brand of football in that first quarter. And the likes of McLeod early, Rashudo and Edwards were quite superb.
In that second term, when the Dogs did get this run on, it was the big-name players that we're used to seeing. We saw Darcy get on the end of a kick there from Cooney. We see Smith and Johnson involved again, the usual suspects.
I think the Bulldogs forward line operates really well when they get the ball in quickly. Robert Murphy, obviously, you want him to get to the bloke delivering it because he's such a good kick. But 2 goals to Johnson and to Smith, one after the other, really set up the match as if the Bulldogs were going to power away. This will be the Brad Johnson one. And yet, really, it was just when it looked like the Dogs were going to kick themselves to a pretty comfortable lead. The Crows just turned it on for 10 minutes and they regained a pretty comfortable lead.
On the back of some errors through from the Western Bulldogs as they came out of the defence. We're going to take a break. We're going to also show you a score from the game at the SCG between Sydney and Melbourne. If you want to go get a cup of tea, we'll take that break. If you don't want to know the score, you can look away now.
Last week on The Gospel.
Went to the gym the other day and a few people come up afterwards and go, oh, what are the guys like? I thought, how do you see them? Nathan Brown looks like he thinks he's, you know what, doesn't step.
They would have been C-grade degenerate people that you go to gym with.
Does not take criticism well, Nathan Brown.
The Gospel, Friday on Fox Footy Channel.
You get more for your dollar at Bunnings Warehouse every day. Cowhide garden gloves, pack of 6, only $6. Ring grip razorback lantern, just $8.50. Portable halogen floodlight, a low $8.96. GAF 250mm exhaust fan, a cool $14.98. Pack of 12 roller covers, just $9.97. HPM 24-hour timer twin pack, only $8.98. 3-piece paintbrush set, just $2.90.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Whatever happened to the real Australia? The Australia where the only high-rise on the beach was temporary. Where it was harder to find a noisy spot than a quiet one. Where the only things colouring the water were fish. Well, I got news for you. The real Australia is still here. Come and see the real thing. Come and see the real thing. Come and see.
Introducing the big new Toyota Hilux, the world's first action utility vehicle. And the first ever V6 4x2 Hilux, delivering 175 kilowatts of power. Get in or get out of the way.
May on the Biography Channel.
I love to dream about beauty. Beauty is just beauty.
To mark Australian Fashion Week, enter the world of design and the catwalk.
Those women look amazing because of me.
Obsessive, forbidden, even arranged, but always a 4-letter word. The Love Chronicles.
How can any one entity legislate love?
As the Sith gets set to take its revenge, the stars of Star Wars strike back.
Right now, yes.
Charismatic and controversial, the 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton.
They have no idea what I was subject to.
He's bald, and he wears a vest, but he's more than just an action hero. Bruce Willis.
I think that I'm going to have fun doing it. I just go with my own gut instinct.
That's May on the Biography Channel. It's all about people, all the time. Experience the Biography Channel only on digital.
Monday nights on Fox Footy Channel, Jared Healy, Robert Walls and Mike Sheehan, all leaders in their chosen field and award-winning journalists, discuss the game's key issues with its most influential stars, power brokers and coaches.
Once you get in game situations, I think you're there to win a game of footy.
On the Couch, every Monday, live and exclusive from 8:30 Eastern. Wednesday on AFL Love Match, join host Rebecca Wilson as Carlton midfielder Corey McGrath battles it out against Hawthorn half-forward and handyman Campbell Brown.
How big is his toolkit? No comment.
AFL Love Match, a real test of teamwork. Wednesday on Fox Footy Channel.
Welcome back to the Dome. Jared Healy's gone to the bench and Gary Ayres has joined me. And Gary, from the point of view, if we looked at the Bulldogs first half, the Adelaide Crows first half, a bit of a worry for only a period of about 5 or 10 minutes in that second quarter, but they did start pretty well and their forward setup looked a bit more dangerous.
It certainly does, Matty. And look, they've been the best starters in the competition as far as first quarters. They won the first quarter again tonight. And I certainly feel that Perry and Welsh, when they're given the opportunity, look a lot better than the Western Bulldogs setup. And I think overall with Trent Henshaw and guys like that who are smart footballers, just seem to play the game a little bit better than currently what the Western Bulldogs are doing, mate.
They seem to have the ability to share it around, and they're sharing their goal kickers around as well.
Well, I think they play a better brand of football than what the Western Bulldogs do, Matty, and to me that's going to be, I think, the difference on the night. If the Crows continue to play the way that they have been, and this is about forcing the ball out, here Rhett Biggles pulled that kick and he sized that up very, very quickly and kicked a great goal from the boundary. He came in that first quarter and actually had an impact, and here Rashudo just kicks the ball forward and Trent Henshaw's got the presence of mind to kick the ball off the ground and scored a very easy goal in the end.
How have you seen Rashudo's game? Not really as dominant as we can expect from the great leader.
No, he hasn't, but then neither of the other players that we're really so used to playing well. I think Goodwin's been pretty good in the midfield, but Andrew McLeod's had a quiet night. He was back in defence, and he's only had 5 possessions, and they actually had him in the back pocket, and Brad Johnson was on him there for a couple of minutes. Tyson Edwards, I think, has done some good things at the right time, but overall I certainly feel the Crows are playing a better brand of football, whereas the Bulldogs seem like they're lacking confidence. And here Simon Goodwin's done a ball burster from outside.
The torpedo's back, isn't it great?
Absolutely.
And he's pumped about it. Kicked it from about 70 metres out to get his goal. As we look at the match stats for the first half, as we probably expect in a game with the Western Bulldogs, they're usually on top in disposals. But what I guess would be annoying for Coach Rodney Eade is they're on top in the centre breaks 12-4, but not manifesting itself on the scoreboard.
That's a huge discrepancy, Matty, and of course what it does show that the Adelaide Crows are actually starting their run, if you like, from defence, and that's a sign of a good side.
With your coach's hat on, what do the Bulldogs have to do in the second half? It's only a 3-goal break.
Yeah.
What do they have to do to change it to beat the Crows?
Well, I think they need to have more purpose. They seem to win the ball across half-back okay, and then once they get and look up, they then tend to stop-start and they want to go short, so I'd try and get it into their forward 50 as quickly as possible with a bit more purpose.
And we'll come back with that second half with plenty of purpose after this.
Monday, the traditional Anzac Day clash sees old host Essendon and Collingwood in a battle for pride, honour and 4 valuable points. Collingwood-Essendon, 5 o'clock Monday on Fox Footy Channel.
Whatever happened to the real Australia? The Australia where the only high-rise on the beach was temporary, where it was harder to find a noisy spot than a quiet one, where the only things colouring the water were fish. Well, I got news for you. The real Australia is still here. Come and see the real thing. Come and see the real thing. Come and see.
The long weekend is the perfect time to get into that big project around the home. Back of 4 energy-saving globes, a hot $9.98. GMC compound motor saw, a sharp $49. Azito electric chainsaw, only $89. Jumbo tabletop heater, just $149. GMC blower vac, a low $49.90. 150-piece rotary accessories kit, just $19.97. Masking tape, 6 for just $6.
Johnny's Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
The excitement machine, McLeod. Left foot goal. Oh, don't tell me. It's a super save. Don't tell me. Oh! You're gonna die!
I've never seen anything like this. His ex is a menace. That he just refuses to drink any other bourbon. You know what we're witnessing here tonight? We're witnessing a man staying true to the world's finest bourbon.
Mundy.
When it comes to sport, competing, I'm as confident as they come.
In the fight of his life.
He's going to be the highest mountain that I've got to climb. He's my Everest.
A chance to reclaim the world title from the Danish hitman Mikkel Kessler.
I'm just getting better and better.
Witness from a ringside seat, Mundy v Kessler for the WBA Super Middleweight World title, Wednesday, May 11 at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Call 136 100 to book now or visit Ticketmaster7.com.
For the first time on Australian television, Shrek is back.
Are you up for a little quest, donkey?
Foxtel Box Office presents an ogre-sized adventure.
Are we there yet? No. I'm just so darn bored. Find a way to entertain yourself.
It's gonna be a gas. Shrek 2, not so far away, only on Foxtel Box Office. Experience Foxtel Box Office only on digital. Call now to upgrade.
Monday on White Line Fever, get front row at the Anzac Day post-game media conference. It's your chance to ask Pies coach Mick Mulhouse and Bomber spearhead Matthew Lloyd about Monday's big game.
White Line Fever with Clinton Grievous. Monday night, 7:30 Eastern. Thursday on Fox League Teams.
We're actually live.
The boys give you the inside word on the AFL.
Bevelenko last week struggled for 3 quarters. What? That's what he's called. That's what the boys call him.
Who's calling him that?
Me.
And share their informed and unique look at the game.
Get it on, mate.
Fox League Teams, Thursday on Fox Footy Channel.
And welcome back to the Western Bulldogs versus the Adelaide Crows here at Telstra Stadium. And I can tell you that at first glance, the Western Bulldogs bench, they look fine. But there's a query over the fitness of Scott West. He spent more than a third of the game on the bench. They're saying they're just resting him, but he doesn't look too well. As for the Crows, well, Michael Doherty came off with a back spasm. They're saying that he is fine to go back on, but he will start on the bench. And also the Crows not too happy with regard to that controversial goal that was awarded and then taken away from them on the siren.
Thanks, Tiff. And, well, the second half about to get underway, Jared. And from the point of view of the Bulldogs, what they won't want to do in this second half is turn the ball over coming out of defence.
No, they did it a couple of times. Robert Murphy, looking for the short option, has had a couple of errors, and he's such a great kick, generally, that he'd be disappointed in the way that one turned about. They ended up going long, which is interesting. I haven't seen them go long all that often, but this is the point I was making about precision football. It's very tough on this ground to make precision football stick because the ground is so slippery. Now, we know that they water it, and there's also the element of dew and humidity, but it's always this level of stickiness, if you like, and that is not very sticky.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's slippery.
I'm interested that Tiff said the Crows were unhappy about the decision with Matt, and I think the umpire got it right, because in the box we looked at each other and said that's not a goal.
Yep. Michael Dowdy just getting some work on his back there. Underway for the second half, Saturday night football from the Telstra Dome, and it's a 19-point margin for the visiting side, who are looking for 4 in a row. The Crows as West trying to get the Bulldogs forward. John Cobb. Handball's back, Van Burlo misses his target. He was looking for Begley, Big Will Minson.
It's a competitor, this kid.
Got it. He's going to get it back too from Cooney, and then off one step, launching forward. High ball, good mark, Darcy, just the start. They were looking forward, Jared, you're happy because you've got Darcy up forward and you've got Minson, the man that's kicking it to him.
Well, I reckon Minson is a great competitor. I've had a look at him on I think all of his games that he's played, and he just wants to compete in the middle. He charges around, he belts blokes over if they're in the way, and he hasn't got the skill level of Luke Darcy, who, you know, is a gun forward. We saw him take a strong mark, a pack mark, and he will go back and kick this if his form holds. So it's a good combination. He can't stay there the whole day, but it's a good combination, these two big men out of the square.
Kick one in the second term, Darcy. Looking for number 2. Given they were looking at perhaps a 25-point margin right on the siren, they've got it back to 13. First blood to the Dogs in the third term. Just what they're looking for coming out after half-time in Chris Grant's 300th game.
Well, if he doesn't get the mark himself, Luke Darcy, not too many people out-mark him, and he is smart. I think he can play up for it a lot more than even in the ruck, Jared, because he is so smart, he knows how to lead, he's a beautiful kick. And if he doesn't get out-marked, if they're quick and they're smart, the Bulldogs' smaller players, they'll get at his feet because they'll pick up crumbs as well.
Well, they've got Bandy as another option to interchange. He could stay there for life.
the Bulldogs. With blood in this third term, 7-8-50. They trail by 13 points. The Crows 9-9-63. Minson in the ruck against Hudson. Two youngsters really combating. Here's a chance for cross to Scotty West. Back on the ground, as Tiffany said, he's missed about a third of the game. And again finds his sparring partner in Rowan Smith, who hammers the ball deep inside 50. Johnson was looking for a free kick going back with Brent Riley. Goes wide. The run will come from Rutten from half back. Perry's a target, got pushed under the ball that time by Harris. Trying to tickle the ball along the ground. Quick hands that time by Perry. Bassett rockets the ball wide. Across to Skipworth, they're trying to set it up. McLeod should kick a goal and misses from point blank range. That's Gary Ayres' fault.
And Kev, that was actually Jared's boy Morris who put a bit of pressure on him. He's actually lined up on him again at the start of this third quarter. But
it's been a good debut for young Dale Morris.
He certainly had a baptism of fire, Jared, as they say.
Sam Power takes it from Rowan Smith, goes wide, looking for Johnson. It's like radar. To Harris. Chip short to Hargrave. The run will come from McMahon from half back. And that kick, that was a piercing kick. He's tried to spear it in, but it was a poor option because it was short to a contest. It might come up for the Bulldogs because Murphy has found Darcy. And again on a long lead, Darcy is a very smart player.
He's very hard to shift, Kev, too, Luke Darcy, when he actually gets in front. He has got the size over Ben Rutten at the moment. But the thing that Ben Rutten's also doing as well, he's actually running off half-back, so he's giving him some drive. But it's certainly been a good move by Rodney Eade to put Darcy there.
What price for the Coleman medal, Luke Darcy?
$51.
He's only kicked 7 goals for the season. Right. Matthew Richardson's on 16, isn't he, as the leading goal kicker, leading around 5. He's going to come with a rush?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, Jared, he better kick this one.
Yep. Like to look at Ryan Griffin too, another good midfielder with good.
What's his price for the medal? The Coleman medal. Right on 50. Luke Darcy is a beautiful kick. It's holding its line. It's holding its line. It's a goal. He's got 3.
And right now, the Coleman medalist stands between a victory for the Bulldogs and the Adelaide Crows.
Rush of Healy money at centre back.
It's been a good response, though, by the Western Bulldogs, Jared, to come out and kick the first 2 goals in the third quarter. It'd be exactly what Rodney Eade was wanting. But once again, there was better movement, I thought, and then go long and strong. It was actually a well-weighted kick, too, from Robert Murphy as well, which did enough to have Luke Darcy patch it in front of Ben Rutten.
The captain of the Western Bulldogs leading from the front. Darcy has 3. The Bulldogs are back to 8 points, and Minson is at it again. Rashudo. Oh, cut off by West. Cooney to Minson. Back to Scotty West. Driving along. Where's Darcy? He's in the zone again. He's going to get a free kick. He's going to line up for number 4. He's preparing his speech as we speak. For round 22. But
good play by Scott West. He cut the ball deep. If you got him down there, and you got him down there as your potential match winner, you've got to kick the ball down from him as fast as you can, Gaz.
Well, they're getting in there a lot quicker too, actually, Kevin. Look, that was probably staged in the end. There wasn't a lot in it. But Scott West got a hand on the ball from Ben Hudson, intercepted, and then he's just looked up and driven it strong and got it in there really quickly. And you just want a contest when you're 10, 15 metres out from goal, Jared.
You wouldn't believe this, but Dale Morris is now on Simon Goodwin.
No, Tyson Edwards to come in the last quarter and get it on.
Rashudo started on Morris. They moved McLeod onto him, and now Goodwin.
Darcy for number 4, but importantly to get the Dogs within a kick, and he bangs it through. What a quarter for Luke Darcy. 3 goals already, and the Western Bulldogs have come alive behind their skipper.
Well, there's no doubt Jared Duffy at centre back. He will have taken a flood of money on him for the Coleman medal. He's coming to 25 in the space of 10 minutes.
Well, he kicked 5 goals leading to this game. He's now kicked 9 so for the season. So 4 goals, and 3 of those goals coming in this third term. Bulldogs are within 2 points, 9-8-62 to 9-10-64, and Will Milson just looks across the centre square, and Hudson comes charging in. Here's a chance for Cooney. Didn't quite hit a target, and Johncock explodes from half back. Pumps the ball along, looking for Perry. It was a good kick, and Harris somehow got a hand to it. Was that a shove in the back? Not paid. Chance for Smith. To McMahon around the corner. Interesting kick, and Minson just somehow was very acrobatic. Tried to get the ball down to Morris, and it squeezed up on the boundary line.
You don't die wondering when Will Minson goes in the ball. He's a beauty. You'd love to have Will Minson right beside you.
It was very athletic.
Yep. They've got a problem in the middle, the Crows. They just can't win the ball from a centre clearance.
Chance for the Crows. Skipworth thought he had it and lost it. Some strength this time. Cooney wrapped up on the boundary line. Strong tackle that time by Biglands.
And it wasn't a problem, Kevin, the first half, because they didn't have their forward structure with Luke Darcy there. But now they're getting it out of the centre and driving it along, and it is starting to pay dividends with goals on the board.
Biglands versus Minson. Biglands. Beautiful tap to Skipworth. Couldn't quite take control, and Scotty West loves being the general, the playmaker, the Cooney, the runner. The young gun goes short, finds Gian Siracusa. Loose players in the centre square. Gian Siracusa goes long. Darcy's always going to be the target. Read it well, that time was Tawney. And the Crows out of trouble.
They break quickly through Bassett. Leading player on a long lead was Henschel, right with him. Chris Grant, though. The Bulldogs back in forward. They've got numbers here. Murphy can give it over the top to Johnson, or he can switch it back, or he can kick the goal himself. He has kicked it out of bounds on the full, an anti-climax for Bob Murphy.
Brad Johnson would be very, very unhappy then. He expected the ball to come over the top of the handball and run into an open goal.
Skipworth's in trouble. Wrapped up by Cooney. Play on the call, Johncock. Over to Big Rutten. Begley through the middle of the ground. What can the Crows do here? They're under siege from the Bulldogs. Welsh out in front of Harris. Harris will look for the boundary. Will he need it? He does.
He's quick, Harris.
Well, that's two leads from two different players that he's been behind and managed to get in front.
Well, Cooney was I thought Cooney was a bit stiff, because it didn't look to me as if Skipworth got rid of this in a legitimate fashion. Maybe he got a little punch on it, but he got the benefit of the doubt anyway.
Minson winning the knock. Back to Harris. Gian Siracusa, and once again the Bulldogs have won the clearance. And it's Minson driving it forward. Too far, and it'll just go out of bounds. So in the end, it's a good result for the Bulldogs.
Matty, I think it's great for Rodney E too to actually expose players. He's got Jared's favourite player at the moment in Morris on McLeod, but he's also got Cross on Rashudo as well.
Well, Jerry, he's not using his best players, is he? His real gun players to actually stop the gun players of the Crows. So he's given a job to two very inexperienced players, and hopeful that they can rise to the occasion and then use his own good players.
Here is Cross. Back to West, and that's the man who's doing the damage for the Bulldogs at the moment.
Risky.
Not his best kick. Riley trying to get past Smith. He can't. Ball on the ground. Bulldogs getting with numbers. Morris. Got to get past McLeod. Gilby on the up. Power into some space. Should measure the kick. It's a poor one. Bassett going back for the Crows. Gets some time. Well, it's not a good handball. McGregor under some pressure. Up through the middle. Good kick. Riley can go back through the middle. Spots a player and does so. Skipworth took his time. Out in front of Goodwin, who kept his feet. Harris arrives to lend support. And the fullback heads towards Scott West. Got to get past Biglands. Keeps his feet. Minson having a very good third turn, the big man. And measures a kick nicely. Gian Siracusa on the wing. Back inboard to Griffin. Where's Darcy? Griffin, whoops. Stop, start. Handball. Umpire says play on. Murphy over the top. Gilby. Short pass. Holding will be Cross.
Darcy calling for it long and deep.
That's where it's going. Johnson also there. Darcy! He's lining up for number 5. It'll be 4 for the third term. And the Bulldogs will hit the front if Luke Darcy does what we think he'll do, Jared.
Well, if you're a Bulldog supporter, I'm not sure whether you'd be more excited about Luke Darcy or the big fellow Will Munster. Because there is just another example of why you can't muck around with the footy on this ground. He's a good young kid, Ryan Griffin, but he was trying to dance around. You can't dance on this ground. You've got to run in straight lines. We spoke about good players for the Bulldogs. This is it's a call to arms now for the Crows players. Their best players haven't gone near it in this first part of the third quarter.
The only one I think, Jared, has probably had a little bit of a say in proceedings is actually Mark Rashudo. But certainly McLeod, Goodwin, Edwards, players of that ilk, they certainly need to lift.
Darcy for his 4th goal in the term to put the Dogs in front, a personal best against the Crows. And there it is! And wasn't it amazing that Luke Darcy was never heard of for the gold medal before this third quarter started, and now there's a flood of money from Jared Healy.
He's been brought into 12.
$5.
It's amazing what $5 can do. But Jared Dabby has wound it back. And I'll tell you what, on a more serious note, the Bulldogs now look unstoppable. We know that the Crows will come back. They have to. They've got to start finding the footy from the centre bounce. They've thrown big ones in there to give them a contest.
5 goals to Luke Darcy, and 4 of those goals have come in this brilliant third term by the Bulldogs. As Rashudo, Captain Courageous, hammers the ball back inside 50, is looking for Perry. McMahon, quick and agile to West, who's quick of mind, maybe not of feet, but I tell you what, he's got the quickest mind out there. Here's a chance for Power. He's across half back, goes short, finds Minson, who's making mincemeat of him in this third term. Goes wide to Scotty West, who drills the ball in a poor kick.
It's interesting there though that Gilby knew that under pressure he could whip the ball out to the wing, and Sam Powell was out there waiting. And I guess when they're playing well, the system works like any system.
I think with that though, Jared, Sam Powell's to be congratulated because Matt has been in terrific form, and I think he's done a great job on him tonight.
Skipworth is on centre wing. The Bulldogs have bounced out in this third term. They trailed by 19 points at half time. They now lead by 4. All because of that big man Luke Darcy, who's standing in the goal square, as Jordan McMahon, who's enjoyed a pretty good game, comes away from half back, finds Rowan Smith, who goes wide, finds Cross, much improved player. It's a player of the future. Here's a chance for Johnson, strutting his stuff on centre wing, goes long, running with the flow of the ball is Gian Siracusa, needs a kind bounce, needs support. Murphy to Gian Siracusa, runs the 20, closes the 15 and bangs it home. The Bulldogs are hot to trot, Jerry.
They are running harder, they are tackling more ferociously, they are shepherding and they're playing for each other, just like the Crows did with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. They have changed it all around. Their good players are absolutely dominating, and their defence has been excellent. I think that we should also acknowledge the role of Harris at full back. A couple of times it's been one out, and he has turned attacks into rebound football for the Dogs.
Gian Siracusa getting the 5th goal of the quarter for the Dogs. The first 4 came to Darcy. They now lead by 10 points. Minson, been superb, trying to flick it back towards Scott West. Thompson can't get past 3 Western Bulldog tacklers getting over the top of the hit. Scotty West, 9 possessions already in this third term.
Matty, Neil Craig's reacted to those goals by putting Trent Henshaw loose back in defence.
Tell you what, he is killing them in their big wilderness, and it's like Gary Dempsey being reborn for the Western Bulldogs. Scotty Wine is palming, he is bouncing, he is bowling him over. We have got the Brownlow medalist and the Coleman medalist here in one quarter.
And the rising star, Dale Morris.
And the premiers. Got the lot here tonight at Telstra Dome.
Daniel Cross also enjoying a purple patch in this third term. The Crows need to find something out of these clearances as Bassett bangs it up high. It's only favouring the Western Bulldogs though. Smith back to Murphy. Grant going to be caught. Spins out of the tackle. Advantage is paid. He gets away from Welsh. Chris Grant measures the pass. It's a poor one. And Bassett will mark for the Crows. He goes back to Trent Henshaw. Looks up, sees Van Berlo.
I think you're entitled to be disappointed there with that kick at Chris Grant. When Luke Darcy's absolutely swallowing everything you kick it there, and the short option just wasn't on. Darcy was one out long.
Van Berlo driving it long up the line. Grant trying to make amends. Perry inside, good little handball to Skipworth. He's got a player open forward. It was Begley who looked forward. He sees Biglands, but Begley doesn't need him. Wonderful finish from James Begley. Answering goal for the Crows, Chris Grant and a spot of bother in the trainer's hands. Let's hope he's okay. Game 300, just what the Crows needed. A great finish by the former Saint.
Well, this is a challenge for both clubs. For the Dogs, they've had a big run for 15 minutes. They've got to be able to sustain or at least curtail the Crows, because we know the Crows will come back. It's exactly what happened in the second quarter. But great to see Begley doing well. He's a player that they spoke of glowingly down at St Kilda before he changed, and that was pure class.
Crows are not going away. Super goal by Begley. The Bulldogs 11-8-74. The Crows 10-10-70. 20 scoring shots to 19. It's been tough and close at Telstra Dome. Chris Grant appears to be okay.
Well, he's loose in defence by himself.
Against Biglands. Minson again, winning that crumb at the centre bounce. Hot ball to win. Minson bends down and somehow shovels the ball out again to Gilby. Back to West, the general, the playmaker. Wobbles the ball in. Johnson nearly took it. Chance for the Bulldogs. Griffin with young legs around the corner looking for a bounce. Rutten traps it. To Tawney. Just ambles away from the back pocket, goes wide. He's looking for Thompson. Gilby makes it a contest and thumps it over the line.
Vincent and Darcy have also changed too, Jared, so Vincent's going forward, Darcy on the ball.
Been a good game of footy. Been exciting and down the boundary line. Here's Tiffany Cherry.
Yeah, Chris Grant is fine. Physio went out and checked his right elbow, but he is fine. He's still on the ground. Also, Junior Cruiser came off after kicking that goal and looks pretty exhausted. He's having a rest on the bench.
Actually, Darcy's refused to go on the ball. He says, I'm staying inside 50 because I'm the gun. I've booted 5 goals. Better get Jade Rawlings to do the rough work. Here's a chance for Cooney. A good pickup. Always a sign of a good player. If you don't fumble and you're a one-grab player, here's a chance for Rawlings. He just did the ruck work on the centre bounce and centre wing. Here's a chance for Murphy. Just tried to get around, couldn't do so. Now he tries to juggle the ball as Matner's got it. He's got 2 to beat. Tyson Edwards hacks it off the ground. It's on centre wing. Scotty West just dominating this third term, and that man McMahon's been a springboard of attack, and Grant has claimed it. Not 15.
Good decision.
And we've got a ball up.
Free kick, Grant.
Free kick.
I think Grant's the one that pushed onto the ball. Nixon had to have a rest. Grant was free across the half-back line.
Free kick around the neck.
And Henshall's his direct opponent, so it probably makes sense.
Kicks a high ball. Everyone's having a look to see if Darson can make a contest. Quick snap from Murphy. Brad Murphy going right to the line. Kicks a goal. Young man came to the side replacing Mitch Hahn, started on the bench, and what a moment.
Well, the kick was just long. It was just orthodox football that has created crumbs and goals for the best part of a century. There's no possession about this. Have a look. Darcy gives a contest. Big Minson comes from behind. And, well, Murphy, he just got boot the ball, but he did right. He's a very skilled player, Murphy, and he's very quick. He's just got to use all his attributes.
Brad Murphy celebrating his late inclusion in the side with his 5th goal in AFL footy. And Scotty West continues to dominate for the Western Bulldogs. They lead by 10 points. Daniel crosses in under that. Scott West with 13 disposals so far in this term. We've still got just under 7 minutes remaining. 6 goals so far for the Bulldogs. Concern for Coach Neil Craig. The Bulldogs have lost their last 9 games here at their home ground. Gian Syracuse back on the ground for Griffin. Free kick going to Luke Darcy.
Talked him into going into the ruck.
Looks like Minson's running the show at the moment.
Short pass, Eagleton. Does kick the ball a long way. Heads in the Minson direction. Over the back, Johnson. Dangerous in these situations. Ball Ball spills out. Doughty back on the ground. Cross. Somehow got it out to Murphy. Murphy does likewise. Standing start, Gilby. Just edging it through for a behind.
Just had news, Jared, that Minson is firm for the Brownlow.
Not surprising. He'd be considered it for the Hall of Fame shortly, I imagine. I know you've met already, but there's going to be an emergency meeting for the Hall of Fame. And I noticed there that Jade Rawlings actually came up to the centre, and he is now manning up big ones, and he told Darcy, you push forward if you get a chance.
11-point margin for the Western Bulldogs as John Cott just shorts it to Goodwin. Have a look at that for handballs in this term.
I think this is an area too, Jared, where actually the Bulldogs have been much better. Adelaide can't get any flow out of defence, so they're holding him up.
Thompson, he may get one high. Cross was right over the top of his shoulder. He's going to hold the ball. Everything is going right for the Western Bulldogs at the moment, including the free kicks.
He's a good young player, Cross.
Just wonder whether Rashudo, it's not time for him to come back onto the ball. He's down in the goal square.
Once again, this time it's Chris Grant, the target. Minson is there. Henschel going back towards Rutten, keeps his eye on the footy. Boundary throw in. 5.5 minutes remaining. The Bulldogs fans in full voice. Rashudo standing a long way from the action with Brian Harris deep inside the forward 50.
Big chance for the Bulldogs. They lead by 11 points after trailing by 19 points at half-time, 11 points at quarter-time. It's been a big third term. Just over 5 minutes left. And surprising because the Crows were very good in the latter part of that second quarter.
Well, I mentioned Goodwin, Edwards, Riley, McLeod, Thompson, and Rashudo, of course, who's now resting up in the goal square. I mean, that collectively is a world-class midfield who just have not got near it.
Minson. And Jared got very excited in the broadcasting box. Sees the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in. Is he a relative at all, Jared?
He's about to adopt him. But it's 98 possessions to 42 for the quarter, which just goes to show the dominance that the Bulldogs have had, just in possession numbers alone.
Aaron Bowden sitting on the interchange bench, maybe just itching to get on, have a crack. Here's a chance for Johnson. Had to kick it quickly, taken away by Goodwin. Rushes out of defence, charges out of defence, kicks a high ball. 3 against 1. McMahon's been very good across half-back. He has been a springboard of attack, and that's his partner in crime. That's Rowan Smith to Chris Grant. So wise men combined. Boyd, his quick and a penetrating kick goes short to Eagleton. Can run to 65. It's a shocking kick, just floats it off the boot. I know a lot of people think Eagleton might be a good kick, but I reckon it's one of his weaknesses.
The other thing that's happened too, Kev, is that Neil Craig's responded to Scotty West 13 possessions, and Bowden's going on, and Minson's off. He's put Massey onto Scotty West.
So that's it. Jared's taken off the headphones. He's not interested anymore.
No, Raptors applause. I think everybody appreciated his
efforts. Grant goes hard. Put his body on the line. Smith does a 360 to West. Has had a fantastic third term, and so has McMahon. Now will open up. Jade Rawlings was a target. He's been bypassed. They go wide to Bowden. He's just come off the interchange bench. Short to Gian Siracusa. He's kicked a goal in this third term. It's the Bulldogs by 11 points. Just under 4 minutes left in this third term. Johnson in the goal square. Gian Siracusa pumps the ball on. Here comes Darcy. This time he was outmarked that time by Hudson. A good grab under pressure.
The Crows still searching. Still under pressure in their back 50 as Goodwin chips it over the top to John Cock.
He's got to find a way to goal here. The Crows haven't looked like it. They've had numbers behind the ball, and when they have broken free, they haven't looked capable of just steadying and keeping possession until they get it close enough to go to goal.
Hudson was under a little bit of pressure in the end from the kick from John Cock. McGregor back to Goodwin. He's gone! Wrapped up with a big tackle by Darcy. It spills for Bowden. Bowden straightens up and kicks the 7th goal for the quarter. The Bulldogs lead by 17 points. What a tackle by the captain. He's kicked 4 goals for the quarter, and now he sets one up.
He's been quite inspirational, actually, Matty, with what he's done in this quarter, not only by scoring goals, but also, too, this hard tackle on Simon Goodwin. And the ball spilled, and Bowden just had some nice poise to score a goal. And that's 7 goals to 1 for this particular quarter. So they're really dominating, and the Crows look like they're a bit nonplussed at the moment.
It's been a a 36-point turnaround. That man on screen has booted 5 goals, Darcy. 4 goals. He was the catalyst in this third term that kick-started the Blues. The Blues kick-started the Bulldogs. Red, white and blue.
Have a look at this tackle,
Look at Darcy.
Right behind the goalpost.
Picked up by Bowden and kicks a goal.
You have to pay tribute, I think, to Scott West too at ground level. He has been a genuine architect through the middle of the ground. He's given away probably 2 possessions out of about, what is he at now? 11 possessions for the quarter.
7 goals to 1 this term for the Bulldogs. Can McLeod do something? McMahon, great stuff. That'll bring a smile to the face of Rodney Eade, a young man, desperate on hands and knees. And now the Bulldogs, they're inspired. Morris playing his first game across to Smith. Goes wide, finds Gilby. Kicked the first 2 goals for the Bulldogs. Measures a kick, finds Gian Syracuse up. Plenty of run in the legs. Goes wide, pinpoints it, finds Murphy. The Bulldogs are just inspired. And now things are happening. Boyd goes short, and it's been marked by Murphy. This young man has kicked a goal in this third term, and he's shooting from just 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Kicked his first goal for the season in this third term. This could be a red-letter quarter for this young man. Came into the side, replacing Mitch Hahn. A man from Rupertswood.
I reckon they'd be on world record inside 50 stats, Gary, with 18.
As Murphy.
18 to 5.
The fists are in the air. He's got 2. And the Bulldogs have kicked 8 goals in a stellar third term.
It's been an incredible turnaround. I was talking to Terry Wallace during the week, and he was concerned only a couple of weeks ago about how many times his side was going inside 50. I think they got it to 66 times last week, which is a record for any side that he'd ever coached. And at this stage, they are better than that per average, the Western Bulldogs, this quarter.
Brad Murphy, first game he ever played, he got 25 disposals against Port Adelaide. He likes playing against Adelaide teams. He's kicked 2 goals today. They've kicked 8 straight in this term.
Yeah, their tackling's been fantastic in this third term.
They're not done with yet. What can the Crows do here, though? Perry. West cutting it off. It spills to Eagleton.
There's a free kick back to Scott West. He got chopped up. Whatever they said at half-time, I'm sure it was the emotional stuff regarding Chris Grant, but more importantly, their season on the line here, the Western Bulldogs. They've gone close a few times, but they haven't got the chocolates. They've come in at a different side. It's not over yet, obviously. The Crows can get back.
23 points is the margin as Brian Harris trying to get it on the act. Don't see him forward very often. Lays it off to Cooney, couldn't take it. Good pressure right behind him. It came from Begley. He wraps him up. And good defensive effort from James Begley.
Much better by Adam Cooney there too. He actually trapped the ball and kept it in. It didn't spill out even when he was tackled. So Rodney Eade would be very happy with that type of play.
But I reckon a few times, Gary, I've seen with Cooney, I reckon he should take the ball out in front. It happened to him last week with punches coming through.
Inside the last minute of the third term, Rashudo, clever kick. Thompson.
That's a good tackle.
Wonderful tackle. It came from Boyd. Johnson, he'll spin through there. The vision is good. Bowden can go short to Eagleton. Kevin Bartlett doesn't think he can kick for goal. Says he's a poor kick. We'll wait and see.
I said he's an overrated kick.
Okay, Kevin. I hate to get on the wrong side of it. I know what you're like.
Scotty West, 30 possessions for the match. And sometimes possession stats are, I guess, a little bit different to other eras, but his stats have been superb. He has won the ball, first possessions. He's worked tirelessly. He's been a major focal point in this quarter.
Been an amazing quarter.
He's so creative too, Jared, with his hands. He brings other players into the game, very much like a player that you know a lot about. That's Greg Williams.
Yep.
Nathan Eagleton lining up for the Western Bulldogs for a 9-goal quarter. 9 straight. Right on the siren. Oh, what a third term for the Western Bulldogs. Their best performance ever against the Adelaide Crows. And they've got plenty of emotion going into three-quarter time. It's a huge day for Chris Grant, his 300th game, and Neil Craig has a huge contract for the last has turned, because what a quarter it's been. 9 straight, Jared.
An amazing turnaround. I don't think anybody could believe it would be so savage a turnaround, but there was Will Minson, there was Luke Darcy, there was Scott West, there was Brian Harris at fullback. There were so many individual stories, and young Morris continues to dominate across the half-back line. Don't go away.
29-point margin. We'll see you after the break.
Can't catch every game? Then watch The Winners.
We'll recap everything you need to know about every game.
Every Sunday, get all the highlights, stats, and post-match reaction from every game with this week's host, Clinton Gravis.
It's footy's ultimate wrap every Sunday.
The Winners, this Sunday on Fox Footy Channel.
Don't miss the Sydney Swans when they line up to do battle against the Melbourne Demons. Be at the SCG this Saturday night, April 23, when Sydney unleashes the big guns and blasts the Demons back home with their tails between their legs. Reserve your seat now. Call Ticket Tech on 132 849. The Sydney Swans, proudly supported by QBE.
Whatever happened to the real Australia? The Australia where the only high-rise on the beach was temporary. Where it was harder to find a noisy spot than a quiet one. Where the only things colouring the water were fish. Well, I got news for you. The real Australia is still here. Come and see the real thing. Come and see the real thing. Come and see.
First it was the mortgage, then it was Sally's education, but lately it's the phone bill that's been giving me nightmares. That is until I discovered Engine Voice Box. Simply connect one end to a broadband cable and the other end to a phone. Flat rate, untimed 10-cent local and capital city calls, great rate on international and mobile calls, and engine-to-engine calls are free of engine charges. You can make massive savings. No more nightmares.
Dad, Greg's proposed!
Call 1300 305 000 to make massive savings. Terms and conditions apply.
Monday soon. It's mayhem and Monday madness.
That's why Michael Jackson's second marriage didn't work.
It's the primetime goof clock. Blunders and bungles abound.
Up close and personal with the beluga whale.
TV bloopers. Followed by the larger-than-life talk show host with that little bit extra.
Your real name is Tim Allen Dick.
Yes.
And I always thought that was just, someone describing you. But that's your actual last name.
Primetime glee.
My God!
Who said fat guys' phones don't ring?
Jiminy, it's Ben Stiller. Not now, please. Ben Stiller, he's an irritant. You have a new dog.
Yes, I do. That was a new.
No, I can smell it.
The primetime goof clock. Monday soon on the Comedy Channel.
On Tuesday night, the highest flying swan of them all, Bobby. Not Mr. Tight Shorts himself. Warwick Cabot, plus a tough man with the Bombers and the Kangaroos, Johnny Casson.
Grumpy Old Man, Tuesday on Fox Footy Channel. Wednesday on AFL Love Match, join host Rebecca Wilson as Carlton midfielder Corey McGrath battles it out against Hawthorn half-forward and handyman Campbell Brown.
How big is his toolkit? No comment.
AFL Love Match, a real test of teamwork. Wednesday on Fox Footy Channel. Last week on The Gospel.
Went to the gym the other day and a few people come up after and go, oh, what are the guys like? I thought, how do you see them? Nathan Brown looks like he thinks he's, doesn't stink.
They would have been C-grade degenerate people that you go to gym with.
Does not take criticism well, Nathan Brown.
The Gospel, Friday on Fox Footy Channel.
Welcome back to the Telstra Dome. Three-quarter time on Saturday night football, and what a third term it was for the Western Bulldogs with Luke Darcy leading from the front, kicking 4 goals. He now has 5, Gilby 2, and Scotty West 29 disposals. What an awesome third term he played. The Crows have still shared their goal kickers, but it was a 9-goal-1 to 1-goal-1 third term that has really made this a 29-point game and a tough contract for Neil Craig and the Adelaide Crows. Let's find out what's been happening down at ground level. Once again, here's Sif Cherry.
Well, the Bulldogs, as you saw, absolutely pumped when Nathan Eagleton got that goal. They walked off into a group, and the talk was certainly very, very positive, as was Rodney Eade. No injury concerns for them as far as the Adelaide Crows go. No injury concerns also, but they certainly were spending a lot of time with their matchups, and there's a few concerns obviously in the Crows camp.
Time to check once again on the score from the SCG between Melbourne and Sydney. If you want to watch the replay, you don't wish to know the score, you can look away now. As Rodney Eade chats to Brian Harris, we looked at the match stats at half-time, Gary, and we saw that the Western Bulldogs were on top in disposals. They had 73 more disposals in that third term, and they've blown it away.
It's quite phenomenal when you think you can have that many disposals in one particular quarter, but it was their handball in tight that found targets, released players, and then they were very good at then finding Darcy long and strong. And the centre breaks being 16 to 8 is enormous as well. So when you look at the way Luke Darcy he was just exceptional, and Will Minson wasn't far behind him, Jared, in that third quarter.
No, they really did kick-start it. And look, the Adelaide Crows are quite capable of making a challenge here. They can kick goals in a hurry. They have had magnificent form coming into this. A good win up in Sydney. So this is not beyond the Adelaide Crows, but they have got to really get on the board and get on the board early, and it's great to see big ones in there. Let's see if he can give a challenge.
Set to go on the last term, and Will Minson towards Scotty West, who picked up where he left off in the third term. Begley got to call out wide. Van Berlo doesn't get a kind bounce. Murphy coming in over the top. Power back to West. Keeps it low. Darcy the target on a long lead. McGregor right with him. Darcy just keeps it alive, flicks it back into the corridor. Wonderful pick up by Murphy. That's Brad Murphy looking for number 3. He hits the woodwork, and it's out of bounds on the full, but the intensity is there straight away once again from the Bulldogs in the open.
It was there, Matty, and also too, Neil Craig's put Mark Mattner onto Scott West to try and negate his actual possession ability.
Again, Luke Darcy, it was very, very clever play. Just kept the ball alive. Luke Darcy booted 5 goals, 4 in that third term, and it was a 48-point turnaround. They 19 points down at half-time, and at three-quarter time, they now lead by 29 points. Minson caught behind Bigland. Mattner runs into his opponent. Cross, impressive young player for the Bulldogs, making big strides, and that's a beautiful kick. Jan Siracusa didn't have to break stride. Goes wide.
No, good interception.
Gilby was trying to force his opponent under the ball, and this time it was Massey. This has been ducked. Grant will be happy to just paddle the ball to the line and take it over the line for a boundary throw.
The greatest thing about having a big bloke in the goal square, and I don't mean a leading big bloke, somebody is capable of standing tall and putting his hands in the air and taking a grab, is that if you're a midfielder under pressure, you know you've got the option of just driving it long and hoping that you're going to get a result.
Mattner. They just need a lift. They need a spark. Maybe it's this man, Risciuto, just caught in 2 minds, steps over the line. Such a turnaround, Jude, because the Crows were so good in the latter part of that second term. Just surprised everyone. Maybe Darcy kicking that early goal just somehow gave some confidence to the young Bulldogs.
Well, they just have... I've seen about 4 of the Bulldogs games this year, and they are just the best by an absolute mile.
Just manages to keep the ball in as Cooney. Well, they beat Collingwood in the opening game. They lost to Melbourne by 26 points, which was good form. Richmond in a nail-biter by 4 points. And they did kick 17 goals last week against the West Coast, even though they went down by 36 points.
But structurally, they just look more dangerous because they got the Brad Johnsons of the world playing more as small forward in a resting capacity, but can go up to the middle and have a run on the ball with Luke Darcy there. And Chris Grant's not the pinpoint, the focal point, or Rawlings. It's the biggest bloke they've got.
Risciuto wrapped up in the tackle that time by Cross, and we've got a ball up.
And Kev, also too, Neil Craig's put Kenny McGregor onto Luke Darcy as well. Taken Rutten off, and he's actually now on Bowden.
Ball up on centre wing. The Crows need to get some clearances happening as they tried to in the third term. Cooney with pace. Couldn't get past. Massey over the top. Edwards gave it to Risciuto, and the Roo drives the Crows forward. Perry the target. Yes, he's got it. Well, could this be the start for the Crows? Direct football from Rashudo straight down the goal front, and a strong mark by Ian Perry, who kicked the first goal of the night.
Well, this is what he did a couple of times last week in Sydney when he was a very good player for the Adelaide Crows. And, Mark Rashudo looked as if he was just at his wit's end and thought, well, nothing else is trying. We've got short possession game isn't working. Let's get it in there long, which is what they have done in most of their wins.
Perry for number 2 to bring the Crows back to 23 points, and he celebrates and pumps them up. They were magnificent in the last term against Sydney, as you mentioned before, and they're not done with yet.
It's a matter of inches, though, too, Matt, because Adam Cooney's handball just missed Gilby, and then, of course, there's a turnover, and then Rashudo gets it, drives it long to Perry, and he takes a very good mark here, as we see, but it really should have been going into a Luke Darcy in the Bulldogs forward 50, because Adam Cooney's handball just failed to hit Gilby, and he couldn't get the ball away. But well done by Perry. He's now got 2 for the night.
2 goals for Ian Perry, 1 in the first quarter, 1 now in this final term. He's kicked 9 goals for the season, and maybe that could be the spark that's going to lift the Crows. Henshut pushed out of the contest that time by Grant.
Rashudo doing well in there again in that centre clearance. Minson gets the tap, but was straight to Rashudo. They're going to have to work better than that if you get a ruckman wins the ball. But Rashudo once again straight down the middle for them to win. They can't go sideways.
Just inside attacking 50 for the Crows. Biglands is big and strong.
Oh, stiff the Crows. They paid a free kick for shepherding. I didn't see it, but I think it was against Matner.
And the free kick goes to Scott West. Was that centre half back? And a magnificent third turn. It was the generator. Straight from the engine room. And a good grab taken by Goodwin, playing his 150th game tonight. Chris Brown, of course, his 300th game. A couple of great milestones. He goes wide.
Some good signs, but they really need a lift out of McLeod and Goodwin and Matner, Riley. All their high possession winners have just got to dominate the quarter.
Well, Matner's got it. Goes wide. Tyson Edwards just caught in 2 minds. Good checking by the Bulldogs. Patrick Bowden stood the mark. So Tyson Edwards now gets the call on from the umpire and goes wide. Finds Tawney. Between half forward and centre wing, just trying to set it up. John Cock. You would think too far out the score. Here's a very good kick. With Biglands pushed off his opponent that time. But he's been ignored, and John Cock just might fancy his chances. Can he kick the distance, Gary?
Oh, look, I think he's a very, very, very long kick when he really has a crack at it.
Well, he didn't. He had a crack for Ian Perry and taken by Cooney. Like the way Cooney grabs the ball with one grab, and he's got those quick steps, quick acceleration. Here's Murphy.
He had to win that too, Kevin, because there were 3 Crows blokes to 1 Footscray.
Judged it well. The power.
Luke Darcy's done a power of running up there, trying to make a lead, give an option, but they're continuing to go short.
To cross from the edge of the centre square to Murphy. Hammers the ball in. Big chance for the Bulldogs. Here's a chance for Scott West. Can he kick a goal? Bounces through.
Got a big game.
Well, he is a running machine.
We said in the coach's box, actually, Kev, that the Crows needed to put a hard tag on him, Jared, and really they've just let him run his own race. I know they've had guys like Begley on him and Matten's on him in this particular quarter, but does that mean how vital someone like Robbie Shirley is, who can just have that mental toughness to actually put someone like Scotty West out of the game? He's just kicked a magnificent goal there with poise and skill.
He has. He worked really hard, and he just got on the end of one for a change.
Scotty West with 33 disposals, his first goal, a very clever one at that, and they get the margin back to 29 points. So 5 minutes have come off the clock, and we're still at the same stage as at 3/4 time. Adelaide were pressing, but it's a goal almost against the run of play for the Bulldogs. Cross. Scotty West's apprentice, if you like. Can't Syracuse it. Couldn't get it forward. Bowden cut off there by Edwards. Bowden win again, got a call out the side, scoops it out towards West. Call to throw. Adelaide, they're on the charge here. They've got the advantage. They're away. Rashudo, long ball out in front of Perry. Good kick.
That's a great kick.
Perry should settle.
Poker kick goals if you go back and do this.
Should settle, doesn't want to.
Okay.
And has missed the target. Will the Crows rue that decision? In the back, they'll get another shot.
He got poleaxed. And he was a little bit lucky there, Ian Perry, that his team is going to bob up with a goal because they look like they've blown it. Good captaincy here from Mark Rashudo, saying just get back and kick the goal. He decelerated a bit on that kick and chopped it up.
Jared, you're also talking about, sorry, Matty, you're also talking about your top end talent rising to the top, and Andrew McLeod's had one possession since half time.
So Hayden Skipworth, who was terrific last week against Sydney, will line up for the answering goal, 30 metres out directly in front. Ian Perry will feel a lot better should this go through. And it does. Crows still within 4 goals. Second goal of the term for the Adelaide Crows. Hayden Skipworth's first for the evening.
Yeah, they need a lift out of all of their players that have been down, and McLeod hadn't had a good night. But he has been capable of turning around 2 or 3 goals in 5 minutes is not unheard of. But somebody has to do it if the Crows are to get back, because despite the fact that they've kicked the last couple, in fact they've just kicked the last one, they need someone to kick the next couple.
Bulldogs by 23 points. Plenty of time for the Crows. They'll keep on coming as Biglands charges in, taken away by Jan Siracusa. Runs to centre half forward, unloads a long bomb. Murphy sets himself with him pulled off the ball. He's got the free. He's got the free and he's paid the mark as well.
That was good coaching there, Kev, by Rodney Eade, because he actually pushed Murphy to the square and Brad Johnson then went up to the wing. So it was very good coaching and good timing by Rodney Eade.
Minton has taken himself off, which has forced Darcy in to the centre bounce. They got away with it because they won the tap. Robert Murphy pushed forward and gave them a marking option.
Bulldogs by 23 points. This could be a quick reply. He's booted a couple of goals this season, Robert Murphy. You would expect that he'd take a couple of steps to his right. Straight through the centre. That's a gem.
We don't often see Robert Murphy in that position. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him have a set shot for goal.
From that close, from 15, 20 metres.
Yeah, like one where it's almost like a full forward shot. And when you see him having them from the 50-metre arc, but he is a brilliant kicker, Robert Murphy, and it would be absolutely delightful. I'm sure it's in Rodney Eade's long-term plans to have him closer to goal.
And Begley often rightly also probably suggests Neil Craig doesn't like Begley playing down deep in defence.
Once again, the Bulldogs answer with a goal, that time to Robert Murphy. And once again, the margin is still at 29 points. He's deep on the forward line at the moment. Down there with Adam Cooney. Rhett Biglands summing up the situation. He's up against Luke Darcy. Immediately crosses the line early as he normally does, and that is beautiful work to Gian Siracusa. Murphy again. Cooney there for the Dogs. Adelaide with numbers. Bursting through McGregor. Searching handball up the line. Riley. Skipworth to Goodwin. Long. Perry the target. Crumbing. McLeod, he's been quiet. Can he smite the Crows? Oh, I think he may. Just his second disposal for the half. But as we saw against Collingwood, right at the death of the game, he was the man responsible. For the win.
And that's what you want to see, Matt. Look, this is just classic crumbing here. Simon Goodwin's kick to Ian Perry was to the advantage, well weighted, and Andrew McLeod does that better than anyone else in the game. And it's just a classic goal from someone like Andrew McLeod. The other one that's been quiet today, though, too, Jared, has been Scotty Welch. Well held by Hargraves.
Just over 12 minutes left in this final term. And McLeod has brought the Crows to within 23 points again. That's a pretty natty haircut. Just have one like that myself back in 1962. Darcy Kicked off the ground that time by Rashudo. Boyd, first to the contest, goes to ground, taken by Skipworth. You just get the feeling one more goal for the Crows and the spiritual rise. Great grab. He's played on.
They called play on.
Called play on. Was it touched off the boot? Maybe. Here's a chance for McLeod. A bit of magic. Maybe it's showtime. Bangs it in, finds Johncock, who just for a moment was caught in two minds.
Well, for some unknown reason, the Western Bulldogs are allowing Andrew McLeod to run freely. Daniel Cross started on him in the centre bounce, and then it was you go your way and I'll go mine. There's one bloke you don't want to let run free. It is Andrew McLeod. It looks as if the young kid, Morris, has gone back onto him now.
Johncock with a big kick. Can this get them within 17 points? Trying to bend it back. Through for a minor score.
Is it as much about Rodney Ebert wanting Morris to actually be in the centre square, do you think, Jared, in that situation?
That's probably where he lost him. But it's you just can't leave him alone for a split second, McLeod, because as we've seen, he can chop up a game in 5 minutes.
Harris, just a little short pass to Chris Grant. Still plenty of time for Adelaide as they're pressing here. Smith, but in the end McMahon has allowed some rain. And as Kevin mentioned, he's had a good game, Jordan McMahon. Measures the kick, spears it in beautifully to Gian Siracusa. That's terrific stuff. Inboard, Griffin. They're running the Bulldogs. Johnson opens up Eagleton. Oh, just missed him with the body. He was away there. He was shooting on goal.
No free kick.
In they go. Umpire letting it go for a while. We'll now have a ball up 20 metres out from their goal. Let's hear from Tip Cherry.
As Jared mentioned, Will Minson did take himself off. He got a knock to his right hip, but he is fine to come back on.
Bulldogs lead by 22 points. Almost halfway through the final term. Biglands wanted Skipworth, who's getting involved in his last term. Cross there for the Bulldogs. Johnson likewise. Another ball up.
We've also got Grant loose and also too Smith as well, Matty, on the far wing. So there's obviously two extra players from the Crows' point of view in the Western Bulldogs forward 50 at the stoppage.
Rutten searching for it. McGregor also. Bowden, Griffin, Cross. Quick hands and reflex required here. Cooney, Johnson stepping. Somehow getting the ball high. McGregor's got to stand and wait. Eagleton came over the top. Murphy's there. Already kicked a goal. Rowan Murphy kicks another. They've got the answers. Every time Adelaide get a goal, the Bulldogs come back and kick the next one. And they're starting to celebrate with a bit of a wave.
Once again, we see that kick to the hot spot, Jared. All it does, of course, is a contest from Brad Johnson here.
Yep.
Ken McGregor was sensational to actually stand his ground. But the ball spills, and Robert Murphy's very dangerous on both sides of his body, as we know, and kicked a great goal.
I thought you were going to give us a comment on the wave.
If you did it, I would.
Never really been a goal kicker, has he, Jared? Just 31 goals coming into this game, 33 goals in his career from 84 games. I know he's played back and centre, but he's certainly got the skills, hasn't he? And the ability to be a goal kicker.
In the recovery, I thought the dance that preceded the goals just shows that he could be a great forward.
Gee, and Siracusa has done well out of that centre square, and backing back that took courage to run like that. And Johnson runs into the open goal, and the Calicos are flapping at the dome.
Kev, I want to just pay tribute to the skipper of the Western Bulldogs here, because I think it's the best game I've ever seen him play. Now, I know he was favourite for the Brownlow medal a couple of years ago, but to me, he has taken his leadership to a new level.
Free kick, sorry, Jared.
They are, because there was a bit of a stink on, but his leadership today has been as good a captain's half of footy as I've ever seen. He's been absolutely superb, and this has set a new level for him as a player.
So there's a free kick straight after the goal going to Scott West. So everything going right for the Bulldogs. Straight after the Johnson goal, they're back in. Johnson down. Over the back. Bowden off the ground. Gee.
I know Kevin touched on it too, Matty, but Gene Siracusa in the last quarter out of the centre square has been simply sensational.
Courtesy of some terrific ruck work from Luke Darcy.
Well, he has just lifted himself as the skipper in this second half, and that last tackle, I think, was exemplified the whole lot. He jumped as high as he had for a 4 days.
Griffin's in on the act. Not to be. Touched on the line. Ryan Griffin searching for a goal, but the Bulldogs are motoring home. Still 9 minutes remaining, but all of a sudden, from the Crows' point of view, the margin, 6 goals.
10 individual goal kickers also for the Bulldogs tonight. It's good where they can share it around, although you can't forget that magnificent third term. The catalyst, here's Cooney, ripped off the ball when Luke Darcy bounded out of the blocks in that third term and booted 4 goals for the Bulldogs and took them from a 19-point deficit to a 29-point lead at three-quarter time. Cooney finds Eagleton. That's a good kick. Finds Bowden. Runs to 40, close to 35. He's hot. No, he's not. It's the woodwork.
Another player who's been important for the Crows too, Jared, who hasn't been on this particular quarter, has been Nathan Bassett, brought off injured. He certainly gives them a lot of steel in their defence, and he's missing at the moment.
John Cock just gave a bit of a wave. He wanted someone to come towards him. Tawney. There's a bit of a scuffle. Luke Darcy's involved. As Tawney belts the ball back. Here comes Grant with a big fist. He'll get a standing ovation for that. Games. Only Ted Whitten and Doug Hawkins has played more games for the Bulldogs than that man on screen now.
Gene Siracusa now is going to full forward. Andrew McLeod went back onto him at the start of this quarter, so Gene Siracusa is now just taking McLeod away from the play. And he had a pretty good game himself, Gene Siracusa, particularly in this last half.
Oh, I think some of the young players tonight, Cross has been very good. Yeah. John McMahon's been very good. Gian Siracusa has been around for a couple of years. They expect him to really take a big step this year. Cooney's been handy. It's a good kick.
Prosciutto, great goal.
Very good kick. And it's a captain's goal.
Well, we speak of great captains, and I guess I was talking about Luke Darcy. It's the best half of footy I reckon I've ever seen him play, if not the best game. But Mark Prosciutto's been a terrific captain since he made that decision to bestow upon him that offer, Gary.
Every year he's just got better, and he's learned a lot about himself and his players, and also to the way he does lead. And he's obviously a Brownlow medalist now, but I think he's really stepped up for the Crows in the second half, Jared.
23 disposals for Mark Prosciutto. Leads the Adelaide Crows now, and he's got 2 goals won, so the captain doing his best. His team is still 5 goals in arrears. There's an infringement in the ruck. It's going against Darcy. It'll go back to Vic Hudson.
They've had 12 individual goal kickers tonight, the Crows.
And Scott Welsh, you would say, has had a quiet night. Hargraves, I know I mentioned it before, he's done pretty well on Scott Welsh.
It's the one weakness that Luke Darcy's got for mine as a ruckman. We saw him a couple of ball-ups ago just lift himself and tap it straight to Siracusa. That time he tried the body, and the body work is just going to be umpired out of it.
McGregor's long ball looking for Thompson. Gilby right with him. Thompson can't keep it in.
Hasn't had a lot of the footy tonight, Scotty Thompson, just 7 possessions.
Wilminson back on the ground. Much to the delight of the Bulldogs fans, a bit of a cold hero is the big man, and he's going to come over the top straight away. Launches himself straight into the back of Darcy. John Cock, though, there for the Crows. Gee, that's not a bad hit from John Cock. That's a goal. The Crows not done with yet. Wonderful finish from Graham Johncock from the clearance. 2 goals in a minute. And just when you thought it was safe to declare a win, who knows?
Well, that's where Will Minson will learn from experience. You see him come over the top here, and he doesn't hit the ball to a non-dangerous area. He lets it get across the back, and once the ball gets out over the back, then it's very much likely to go through for a goal, as John Cock has just done. Clubs work hard to open up that space behind. If you've got a chance to negate it, you bang it to the boundary.
It's a 4-goal margin, and it's just under 7 minutes. Still a chance for the Crows. Maybe some never say die spirit. Hudson in the ruck, beaten by Minson. Gilby is a thumping kick, unloads, kicks long, some pushing and shoving. The man's got it. The big man's got it. He's too big, he's too strong, he's too tall, and he's too good.
Is that the Coleman medalist, Jared?
I think you can present it now. They'll bring the dais out at the end of the night. It'll be an early call, but he has just looked superb up there, Luke Darcy, and he's been aided by, that time, Will Minson getting the ball out. Good tap, and then a long driving kick in.
And it was Gilby's kick too, Jared, that was actually to his advantage.
Yep.
So he had McGregor on the inside, used his hip, and actually took a fantastic mark.
Luke Darcy going for goal number 6. He's coming from a very long run-up. He's shooting from 20 metres out, but he's gone
He's
back
coming
to
from the Doug Hawkins wing.
This is the longest run-up the Telstra Dome's ever seen.
Luke Darcy.
We'll probably miss it now.
Kicks goal number 6.
What's he up to now, Kev?
6 goals straight too, by the way.
6 straight.
Luke Darcy,
How
6
many for
straight.
the year?
For the year, Luke Darcy has kicked 11.
Matthew Richardson will be nervous.
Well, he's been the best player on the ground because he's had the influence on the side in that third term when he went to full forward and kicked those 4 goals, and he's just inspired the Bulldogs since then.
Dogs back in front by 5 goals. Here's Tiffany Cherry.
I said before that Julian Syracuse came off not looking too well. He's just been sick on the ground. He's running himself into the ground.
Hudson. Rashudo, look out. Didn't see Eagleton. Cooney did. Again, the Dogs go inside their forward 50. Again, it's Gian Syracuse. I don't know if he's that sick, or maybe he is. He's not happy. He's sick of himself. He's had a terrific last term. He's picked up 26 disposals for the game.
Robert Murphy just looks dangerous up in that forward line. He wasn't happy with Gian Syracuse there, not handballing it over. But he looks a very dangerous player. He's strong enough and tall enough to make a contest, as he did then.
5 goals each so far in this last term. Still over 5 minutes remaining as Edwards kicks along for Adelaide. Spoil from McMahon. The bounce favouring Thompson. He bumped off it by Smith, and in comes Darcy to help out. And we'll have a ball up.
The other thing that we've seen too, Matty, is the speed which the Bulldogs have used to get the ball into their forward 50 has really gone up and accelerated. So the Adelaide defenders can't actually peel off their respective opponents and actually stop that long kick to Darcy.
132 plays, 101. It's been a huge turnaround since half-time when the Crows led by 19 points. Here's a chance for Welsh from 45 metres out. He was missed.
Daniel Cross has had 28 possessions. He's a player that just continues to get better as a midfielder. He's had many negative roles over the journey of his young career, but at the moment he's picking up a stack of possessions.
Well, he's had 22 handballs and 6 kicks for his 28. Scotty West is the leader for the Bulldogs with 34, Robert Murphy with 27, and Mark Rashudo with 23, and Goodwin with 22, and Tyson Edwards with 22. So the big guns for the Crows are at the top as far as possessions are concerned. There's a chance for Thompson, goes wide, finds Henschel. It's on the front edge of the centre square. Got darting eyes and finds Tyson Edwards. As Cooney stands the mark.
What's interesting is comparing their inside 50 stats, Kev. Mark Rashudo's taken the ball inside 50 on 7 occasions. Tyson Edwards inside 50 only once. John Cock only 2 times out of 18 possessions. And Simon Goodwin has taken it inside 50 on 7 occasions.
Well, Hargraves has got it across half-back for the Bulldogs. Finds Morris, the young man in his first game, started on Rashudo, then was moved on to McLeod, and then moved on to Goodwin. What an initiation. A game to savour. Chris Grant's 300th game, his first, and playing on 3 champions of the Crows. Here's a chance for Cross. It's been absolutely outstanding. Can Eagleton kick a goal from on 50? He's going for his second. He's off target. Let's go down to Tiffany Cherry.
Robert Murphy has just indicated that he wanted to come off. He's now off at the moment. He looks like a problem with his left leg, but he should be okay.
Jade Rawlings injured, Tiff?
Jade Rawlings, no.
He spent a fair bit of time on the bench in the second half, watching proceedings and watching the Bulldogs lead at the moment by 31 points as Edwards, the forward, handball to McGregor, providing support. Prosciutto spots Skipworth. Welsh leads deep into the pocket. He's got a couple of metres on Hargrave this time. And Scott Welsh takes a mark. Just his second mark for the night. As I mentioned earlier, last time they played, he picked up 3 Brownlow votes. Prosciutto got 2 and West got 1. Well, Scotty West will be back involved, I think, here. 6-time Western Ferris, but it's with Scott Welsh. Tough pocket. And wrong side of the post for Scott Welsh, just behind Tiff Cherry.
Robert Murphy now getting his left groin assessed, as we said, so just a bit of tightness, I think, cramping in his left leg.
Well, given there's only 3 minutes remaining and it's a 5-goal lead, no real need for Murphy to come back out, as Gilby straight through Scotty West. First error he's made in the second half. That's too high over the top of Riley. He'll take the free kick.
And the look of exasperation on Scott West there was fantastic, because he's a perfectionist.
Yep.
And he doesn't want to make one mistake.
Matner spreading it wide. Van Berlo off a step. Prosciutto again. Got it. It's kick 2, the captain, and kick 1 from a little bit further out off a standing start earlier in this term. He'll go back and kick from just inside the 50. And he's such a wonderful player. You'd expect that he's lining up. Probably should kick number 3.
From the pace that Scotty West was playing the game, as far as his disposals, Jerry, you'd have to say Matt has done a fair job on him in this last quarter.
He slowed him up. There's no doubt he's had just the 4 possessions. But this is the bloke who's impressed me, as always. It's just a delight to go to the footy to watch Mark Prosciutto play footy.
Got pretty close to Cooney on the mark, but it didn't matter. He's got 3. He's been the Crows' best on the margin. Late in this final term on Chris Grant's 300th game is 4 goals.
And we just see here where Matt has actually switched the ball back into the corridor to Van Berlo, and he's seen Prosciutto. And again, the kick was well weighted. And Mark Prosciutto is a very, very accurate kick, especially from a long distance out. It's probably 48 metres. And again, he's just leaned back and he's just kicked a very, very timely goal in relation to how they want to finish the game off, Jared. I think it's important.
Just over 2 minutes left at the Dome. Mark Prosciutto's good at 3 goals. The Crows are within 24 points, and that's about the margin that they've got to right out through this last quarter, but they just haven't been able to crack the Bulldogs tonight. As Cooney takes it from Eagleton, goes wide. Scotty West is a running machine. Just tried to find Boyd. It was clever play. Boyd is quick, trying to break the tackle. Back to Scotty West. Tries to set it up. And coming over the top that time is Tawney, but through for a behind.
I haven't done the figures, but I imagine the stats will show that the Crows have won 3 out of 4 quarters on the scoreboard. And yet they're going
that is correct, Jared.
Yep.
It was at 9 goals to 1 in the third term. That was the killer-diller.
They've been probably comprehensively the best side on the night, bar for 30 minutes where they just did not touch the footy, and the Bulldogs played a level of football that would take them into the 8.
Hudson takes it from Rutten. Now plays it to himself. He was held that time by Minson. He's had 19 possessions, Will Minson. Now the ball will come back because the free kick has to be paid. Last 66 seconds of this game is going to be a big one for the Bulldogs. They'll celebrate Chris Grant's 300th game with a win. And speaking of Chris Grant, the champ has got it across half-back to Boyd with a 360 to McMahon. Great game tonight to Scotty West, and Boyd runs hard from half-back. There's some good signs for the Bulldogs. Cooney backs himself in, took a risk, and has been pinged for a throw.
Van Berlo, he's turned it straight over. Is there a chance for one more goal here? West misses Eagleton. Paddles it forward, trying to get past Tawney. Just has to give it back to Griffin. Ryan Griffin over the top to Johnson. Say goodnight.
Well done, Griffin.
Johnson finishes with 4.
Love to see that, Kevin. Griffin could have gone back and had a Hollywood shot at goal, but he dropped in the 30-metre handball after Eagleton did some good work to take the tackle. And it just shows he's thinking as a team player. He's not thinking about his own future and his career. He just wants to do the right thing for the team. Here it is unfolding. Eagleton takes the tackler on, creates the space. And here's Griffin. He could easily have had a shot.
Bulldogs celebrating. There's a young man there in Ryan Griffin taking at number 3 in the draft. Set that up. Brad Johnson's booted 4 goals tonight. 6 goals to Luke Darcy. 2 goals to Robert Murphy. And 2 goals to Brad Murphy. And the Bulldogs with that great 9 goals to 1 in that third term as this young man just explodes Cooney from the centre square. Johnson, maybe time for one last gasp, one last goal for the Bulldogs, and GN Syracuse blazes away as the siren will sound. But it's been a great night for the Bulldogs. They can celebrate. And Chris Grant, that man on screen, in his 300th game, will be a very, very happy man, and so will the Bulldogs supporters, and that man there also, Rodney Eade. It's been a big night for the Bulldogs.
Before you go, Matt, I just want to make a point about GN Syracuse. They had a great game, but there was a comparison there between what Ryan Griffin did and what GN Syracuse did. And I think GN Syracuse, he had 2 blokes he could have handballed the 2, and for him to take the next step as a player, it's not just about him kicking the miracle goal, it's about him giving off the handball when it was there to give, and that was an occasion. Even though the game is over, it's the team, and there was a great comparison with him in the first Ryan Griffin, who's been around for a little bit of time, but hasn't had a lot of exposure at senior level.
Huge night for the Western Bulldogs. It looked a tough contract for them at half-time. They were down by 19 points, but what a third term when they kicked 9 goals to 1. Adelaide did challenge in that fourth quarter, but in the end, the Bulldogs have got up with that last goal to win that fourth term with another 6 goals. So, a terrific finish. Importantly for them, they've won a game here at the Telstra Dome, a place they've really struggled to win. They've had some good performances, but haven't been able to do so. And in the end, they've got their second win for the season to give them some impetus as they move through to round 6. Been a great night for Western Bulldogs fans. Chris Grant, his 300th game. Luke Darcy did lead from the front with 6 goals. Magnificent performance from him, and Rodney Eade should be very, very happy with what he saw from his team tonight. The Adelaide Crows will head back to take on the Kangaroos next week. But from the Telstra Dome, it's been a great performance by the Western Bulldogs. They've defeated the Adelaide Crows 21-14 to 140. Adelaide 16-13, 109. And the man of the moment, here he is, Chris Grant.
Chris, could you have scripted it any better?
No, it's a great effort by the boys. We've been disappointed with ourselves the last 3 weeks, so the guys got up for themselves. That was great.
Set up by a brilliant third quarter, 9 goals to 1. What was it at half time?
Well, we just weren't closing them down enough. We're almost sort of playing, free-flowing footy, and that was no good for us. As soon as we started to close it down a little bit, we're in the game, man. Big dance up in the goal square was great.
They're all cheering you. It's going to make for a great night.
Sure will.
Well done, mate.
And now a very special moment for Chris Grant. With his great mates there, of course, Rowan Smith and Brad Johnson, Luke Darcy getting involved. And it's always great when a milestone when you have a great win, Kevin.
Yes, and only the third Bulldogs player to play 300 games. He did say before the game that he'll keep playing until he's not wanted. But he has been one of the all-time greats of the Bulldogs. Didn't win a Brownlow medal. We know he lost it after being suspended, and on another occasion he lost the Brownlow medal by 1 vote. But he's been one of their favourite sons. At one stage there looked like he was going to go interstate to Port Adelaide.
Very close
to stay with the Bulldogs. Became captain of the Bulldogs, and tonight celebrates 300 games for the One Club. So it's been a magnificent night for the Bulldogs and that man on screen, Chris Grant. Better than a Brownlow.
Well, certainly in milestone games, it's not really up to the player to do all the job. And Jared, you talked about Luke Darcy right throughout the night. Led from the front, almost saying that he didn't want Chris Grant to walk off this ground without a victory.
Well, I would say this. Let me just jump in there, Jared.
Thanks, Kevin.
No, because Jared's still looking at the stats for Will Vincent at the moment.
He's just searching.
It's just adding up those stats. But this is a great side. But look, they would have loved to have won this game. They have won the game for Chris Grant. I don't think playing the 300th game would make them play any better. They would hope they can come away with a win because it would be an indictment on the Bulldogs players that they could actually pull something out special because it was a milestone game. But their greatest wish when they played there tonight was that they could at least play to their maximum ability, and if they did that, to give themselves a chance to do what they're doing right now, and this is carrying this great man off the field at the Telstra Dome after winning against the Adelaide Crows.
Well, it was 11-8, by the way, Matt. 11 kicks and 8 handballs. Let's just pay tribute further. We've seen him play since 1985 when he was drafted as a spindly-legged kid, and he's just grown as a man and grown as a supporter of the game, both on and off the field. He's been sensational. And I just hope he has 24 hours of euphoria because he hasn't had it in September when he would have loved it, but tonight hopefully makes up in a small part of that.
I think he's still the youngest player in the history of the game to kick 50 goals in AFL football when he was just 17 years of age, and Jerry Willer brought him down from Dalesford and plonked him at full forward. So it was a great start to his career, and as we know, he's played centre-half back and centre-half forward and full forward, and tonight he played at both ends of the ground as well.
And it will be all about Chris Grant, but in many ways it's also about the Bulldogs tonight. I think they've arrived in many ways under a new coach. I think they've proven something to themselves, that they can win big games of footy, they can play a brand of footy that will stand up in finals, and they're going to frighten some sides this year.
Well, on behalf of all the team here at the Telstra Dome, Tiffany Cherry, Gary Ayres, Jared Healy, Kevin Bartlett and myself, Matthew Campbell, it's been a great night for the Western Bulldogs. They'll be in fine voice for Chris Grant's 300th game. They've defeated the Adelaide Crows by 31 points. We'll say goodnight as we hear the song of the great man in the middle.